Chapter 1975. Isn't this too much? You have a daughter who's about to get married. How can you have designs on the Green Rock clan's young master's child? Sung Tian was a little anxious. What? If you don't agree, then no one will be happy. The Black Phoenix clan leader glared at Sung Tian. Black Phoenix clan leader, there's no point in this. Today is the day of the engagement. The Grand Elder said. Xian Zhenggang, if you cause trouble, we Green Rock clan won't say anything. But today is the day of Tianyu's engagement. Is it appropriate for you to involve so many people? Sung Tian said. I'm causing trouble. What's wrong? The Black Phoenix clan leader glared at Sung Tian. He didn't want to let things go. At this moment, Yi Shang, who was originally sitting down, stood up and said, whatever you want to do has nothing to do with our primal chaos realm. This is Star Moon City. Today, my sister Yi Shang is getting married. My brother Yi Shang is getting married. If you want to cause trouble, please change the time. The Black Phoenix clan leader is fine. The Sky City leader looked at the Black Phoenix clan leader and spat out 4 words. He was clearly unhappy. The Black Phoenix clan was a divine beast clan. It didn't matter if they were arrogant. But now, they came to Xingyue City to cause trouble. They didn't give face to Night Sorrow and the Chaos Realm. My father has a bad temper. All these years, he's been thinking about my sister. His words were a little rude. I hope the Sky City leader and the Night Sorrow Realm leader won't mind. The white-robed man who came with the Black Phoenix clan leader said. At the same time, he pulled the Black Phoenix clan leader back a step. No matter what grudges you had in the past, today is the day of the child's engagement. It's a joyous occasion. Put everything else aside. King Yo-Wu also spoke. It's a good thing that the Black Phoenix clan leader is here. Everyone, sit down and continue the conversation. Elder Tian Yunlan gave the Black Phoenix clan leader a way out. The Black Phoenix clan leader's expression was ugly. He sat down without saying anything because the white-robed man sent him a message. The leaders of the 100 races had received a message from the Council of Elders. They all knew about the birth of the human sovereign. The Black Phoenix Patriarch came to Star Moon City to make a ruckus. He didn't want to give Night Sorrow, the virtuous sovereign, any face. The leader of the Black Phoenix race wanted to cause trouble with the Green Rock race, but he forgot that he would offend Night Sorrow if he did so. The white-robed man reminded him just now. Child, you're Tianyu, right? I'm your uncle, Xian He. I heard that you got married, so your grandfather prepared a congratulatory gift and prepared a mansion for you in the divine capital. The man in white nodded at Tianyu with a smile on his face. His smile was filled with sadness and love. Tianyu greets uncle. Tianyu stood up and bowed to Xian He. Good child, you look very much like your mother, but with a little more determination. Very good. Uncle doesn't have anything to give you. Here are some battle techniques I researched. Take a look. Xian He handed a book to Tianyu. My 13th brother said that I won't accept any gifts when I get married. He'll take care of everything. But I'll accept uncle's gift. Tianyu nodded. Because the Black Phoenix Patriarch and Xian He had arrived, Tian Yunlan told them about the agreement between the Yi family and the Green Rock race. Rich and overbearing. The Black Phoenix Patriarch glanced at Night Sorrow. I don't have much capital, but taking care of my sister and brother is something I, Night Sorrow, can do. Night Sorrow didn't stand on ceremony. Thank you, brother. Tianyu could see that Night Sorrow didn't care about offending anyone for him and Yi Nianxiao. Thank you, brother. Yi Nianxiao sat down beside Night Sorrow. You don't have to be so courteous with me. What's the point of having me? I'm here to protect you from any grievances. Whether it's in front of others or behind others, I'll say it. If anyone dares to give you any face, I'll fight to the end, said Night Sorrow. He was expressing his attitude to everyone. That won't happen. Nianxiao is the Yi family's treasure. In the future, she'll also be the treasure of our Green Rock race. Don't worry. Tian Yunlan rejoiced in her heart. If it were anyone else, it would be very difficult to discuss the marriage. Night Sorrow was truly domineering. I'm very sorry. Night Sorrow's words were a bit rough and made everyone unhappy. I'll apologize later. Night Sorrow cupped his hands towards Tian Yunlan. Next, the wedding date was set. It would be held in 3 months. The wedding would be held in Star Moon City. After arranging the guests' accommodations, Night Sorrow and Tianyu went to Star Moon Lake to enjoy the breeze. Tianyu, Brother 13's attitude today is a bit extreme. Don't mind him, said Night Sorrow to Tianyu. Brother 13, let's not talk about this between us. Others don't understand you, but I do. My grandfather and the others went overboard. They didn't give others any face, said Tianyu. Actually, it's not important. You and Nianxiao are better than anything else. Night Sorrow took out a jar of wine and handed it to Tianyu. At this time, in the VIP building of Star Moon Island, King Yawu was sitting in the main seat. The Patriarch of the Green Rock race and the Patriarch of the Black Phoenix race were all present. The City Lord of Tianhuang City was sitting in the guest seat, drinking tea. Xian Zhengang, are you here to cause trouble? Do you think you can cause trouble here? King Yawu's face was cold because he was very angry. No, Lord King Yawu, you misunderstood. The Patriarch of the Black Phoenix race, Xian Zhengang, hurriedly explained. The Black Phoenix race was very strong, but they weren't qualified to challenge King Yawu. If you want to cause trouble in the future, look at the situation. I send a message to you. Night Sorrow is the Emperor of the human race, the Emperor of the 100 Races Alliance, and the Deluxe Merit Emperor. Do you think the Black Phoenix race is lucky and fated to go against the Deluxe Merit Emperor? King Yawu slammed his hand on the armrest of his chair. The armrest of the chair was fine, but there was an explosion in the air. Lord King Yawu, please calm down. My father was just complaining. He didn't mean any harm, explained Xian He. If you really want to cause trouble, who will stand on the Black Phoenix race's side? The Blood Scale race and Night Sorrow are close friends. The Prince of the Golden Dragon race is his sworn brother. The new Emperor of the Ice Phoenix race is his concubine. The Nine-Tailed Fox race has a good relationship with him. Don't you know the strength of the Humanitarian League? Haven't you thought about the consequences? King Yawu glared at Xian Tiangang. Xian Tiangang didn't say anything. He knew that King Yawu was Night Sorrow's backer. He was the most terrifying backer. Lord King Yawu, please calm down. The leader of the Black Phoenix race may not have thought so much, said Tian Yunlan. I'll say a few words. Since King Yawu has said what happened today, I won't emphasize it again. I'll talk about the future. It's a fact that Night Sorrow is the Emperor of the human race. His title is the Immortal Godly Emperor. This represents his personal achievements, but it also represents the future of the celestial realm. He's the savior of the celestial realm. He's the only chance for the celestial realm to survive the last reincarnation. If anyone goes against him, I'll deal with them without asking who's right or wrong. Do you think I'm selfish? Do you think I'm selfish and useless? Which race in the heaven realm doesn't follow this rule? I won't tolerate it. Also, I'm a human. The City Lord put down the teacup in his hand and said. Chapter 1976. Domineering, overbearing. If King Yenwu's reprimand had left some face, then the desolate City Lord's words didn't leave any leeway at all. He clearly told everyone that he would deal with anyone who didn't like Yishang, regardless of who was right or wrong. Xian Zhengang understands. I was a little confused today. Xian Zhengang bowed to the mayor and King Yawu. At this time, he had no choice but to admit his mistake. The first part of the mayor's words was based on the general situation of the celestial realm, from the perspective of the 100 Races Alliance. The second part was from the perspective of the human race, which unconditionally supported Night Sorrow. If he went against the human race, then the mayor would speak as a human. Alright, that's all. Let's put this matter behind us. The marriage between your two races needs to be reconsidered. The mayor's tone was a little calmer. You two stubbornly blocked the marriage of your son and daughter. What about now? Their son is about to get married. What's the point? Tell them to come back. The Grand Elder said with a smile. We did tell them to come back, but they ignored us. Sang Tianyun said. That depends on the situation. Their son is about to get married. How can they not come back? You two send the same message, make some promises, and they will come back. The Grand Elder shook his head helplessly. The human race was still the most knowledgeable about the ways of the world. Night Sorrow and Tianyu sat side by side, talking about their life in the bamboo forest peak. Yin Yen smiled and brought a jar of wine to the two of them. Although I offended some people today, I'm really happy. Night Sorrow stretched out his arms and hugged Tianyu and Yin Yen. My grandfather and grandfather may think that I haven't been living well these years. In fact, I think it's been very good. Because of wind and rain, Brother 13 has always stood in front of me. Brother 13, you have to leave a place for me in the bamboo forest peak. We met there and rose there. Tianyu said. Although you're not a disciple of Medicine Valley, I think no one will object if I ask. Night Sorrow smiled. Not a disciple of Medicine Valley? It doesn't matter. I'll join. I want to be a protector or something in the Medicine Valley. Eldest senior brother and the others won't refuse, Tianyu said with a smile. Alright, leave it to me. Night Sorrow nodded. After the business in the VIP tower was finished, the mayor and his companions went to the top of the tower and drank tea while looking at the lake. Naturally, they saw Night Sorrow and his companions who were sitting on a rock next to the lake. It's good to be young. The Grand Elder sighed. They're such good brothers. It's rare for Tianyu to have a brother like that. Perhaps this is his greatest gain since coming to Nanumbra. Skycloud said. Brothers, it's rare to be brothers. Back then, there were 4 of us, but now there are only 3 left. King Yawu lowered his voice. The city lord patted King Yawu's shoulder. Night Sorrow has achieved so much. I have no regrets. Skycloud and Xian Jinggang looked at each other. They realized there were many things they didn't know. There are some things you don't know. I'm not trying to hide them, but there's no need to mention them. In the last reincarnation, they fought with the human emperor against the winged demon. There were 4 emperors who survived. They came from different sects, but they were all good friends and brothers. Later, 2 of them went to Tianhuang City and the other 2 went to the divine capital, the Grand Elder said. By now, Tian Yinsong and the others knew who the 4 people were. They were none other than the city lord, the Great Elder, King Yawu, and the unparalleled Sword Emperor. Only 3 people remained because the unparalleled Sword Emperor, Yen Wushuang, had perished. This relationship made Sang Skycloud and Xian Jinggang understand why the human race had always been so united. It was because the 3 most powerful leaders of the human race were brothers. Yawu, when we went to Night Moon Villa to take the teleportation, did you notice a team in the mansion? The city lord asked. I did. It should be the famous god-slaying team in the past few hundred years. Their overall strength is not bad. The rarest thing is that they're young and full of vigor. King Yawu nodded. I plan to hold a meeting with the elders of the 100 races when we go back. I suggest that we focus on training these young people. They'll definitely be the backbone of the battle against the winged demon in the future, the city lord said. Okay. If the meeting doesn't agree, we'll send them to the divine capital and train them ourselves. King Yawu nodded. Tianhuang City was the city of the 100 Races Alliance. It was built to defend against the winged demon, while the divine capital was the city of the human race. The 100 races developed in the divine capital, but the human race had the right to speak. That won't happen. The city lord, King Yawu, and the great elder have been working hard for the stability of the heaven realm. All the clans of the 100 Clans Alliance have seen this, the Xuanluan clan leader said. Although he was scolded, he recognized the city lord and the other two's perspective on the overall situation. I've thought about it in the past, but Night Sorrow was in a coma. It wasn't appropriate to mention it, so I put it aside. This time, we can mention it when we go back. Also, we have to talk to Night Sorrow. They won't agree just because we want to. Night Sorrow treasures the people around him, the Grand Elder said with a smile. There's one more thing to deal with. I've been traveling around the world recently and found that their people are investigating the Heavens Vault tribe. There's probably something wrong. If we don't deal with it in time, the Heavens Vault tribe will be crushed. The city lord pointed at Night Sorrow's direction with his chin. Someone's stirring up trouble again. They're really restless. But there shouldn't be any problems in the near future. They won't use their weapons until there's a happy occasion. The Grand Elder shook his head helplessly. The people of Star Moon City won't, but what about the Human Alliance? We know the Demon King's personality. I really wonder if it was the right decision to let him follow you. If he becomes the Grand Elder, will there still be peace? The city lord rubbed his short hair with his hand. Night Sorrow had indeed sent people to investigate the Heavens Vault tribe because someone from the Chaos Realm had died in the Heavens Vault tribe. This didn't mean that Night Sorrow would take revenge whenever someone from the Chaos Realm died. It was because the two of them had come to the Celestial Realm in order to break the shackles of the Nine Realms world. It was for the sake of the Chaos Realm. Under such circumstances, it was natural for the people of the Chaos Realm to take revenge. The dead couldn't be wronged in the underworld. Night Sorrow is a straightforward person. Just ask him what happened and he'll understand. If it's a small matter, but if the Heavens Vault tribe did something evil, then there's nothing we can do, Tsang Tian said. After chatting with Tianyu and Yin Yan for a while, Night Sorrow thought of Long Jin and the dragon language. He still had some questions to discuss with the dragon language. He was almost certain that the disappearance of the black dragons had something to do with Mo Tianji. The new fastest, carrot. Chapter 1977. Leaving Tianyu and Yin Yanxiao to talk alone, Night Sorrow got up and left. He took the teleportation array and arrived at Night Moon Villa, where he found Long Jin and Dragon Language. Brother, did Tianyu and Yanxiao's matter go smoothly? Dragon Language asked. There were some twists and turns, but it went very smoothly. Right now, I'm worried about you too. Long Jin, is there any problem with your uncle? Night Sorrow asked. There's no problem. I gave him a heads up. Long Jin nodded. If there's no problem on your side, then things are settled. Dragon Language, I'm still worried about you. I can foresee that the black dragons are definitely in cahoots with Mo Tianji. I don't know when they'll attack our Star Moon City and the 9-domain world. This will make things difficult for you. Why don't you and Long Jin's true body go live in the 9-domain world after the wedding? Night Sorrow said. Brother, you don't have to worry about Dragon Language. There's nothing difficult about it. Regardless of whether you're a human or a dragon, there's a scale in your heart. You'll know what's right and what's wrong. Thank you, brother. Dragon Language nodded. She knew that Night Sorrow was much younger than her, but after hearing Night Sorrow's words, she felt at ease. We're siblings, so there's naturally no need to be so polite. Long Jin, how's your cultivation of the techniques I told you about last time? If you have any questions, you can ask me. Night Sorrow asked. I've already researched fire. Furthermore, I've changed our dragon's ultimate technique, Dragon Traversing the 9 Heavens, into my Dragon Traversing the 9 Heavens. In addition, I've also cultivated a blade technique. Then I'm relieved. Right, let's take a look around and see if there's a suitable mansion. Tianyu's about to get married, so I'll have to buy a mansion nearby. Night Sorrow smiled. Following this, the three of them went out. The price wasn't a problem, as long as they liked it. Yishan successfully bought a mansion. But under the confused gazes of Long Jean and Dragon Language, Night Sorrow bought a second set. Then, Long Jean understood. He patted Night Sorrow's shoulder heavily because he understood that Night Sorrow had prepared this for him. Long Jean, why don't you talk to your uncle and propose marriage as well? You and Tianyu can get married together. Night Sorrow said. All right, then I'll go back first. Long Jean thought for a moment and nodded. After Long Jean left, Night Sorrow nodded at Dragon Language. Sister, don't worry. Big brother will marry you off in a grand manner. It definitely won't be any less ostentatious than any other clan. Dragon Language nodded. She knew that Night Sorrow did not have much interaction with her, but Night Sorrow was exiled to help her, so she was very grateful. After returning to the Golden Dragon clan, Long Jean explained the situation to his uncle. The Black Dragons have a sensible princess. That's good. She's very suitable for our Golden Dragon clan. It can be considered as giving the Black Dragons a chance to live. Propose marriage, that's fine. Now that the Desolate City's City Lord and the others are in Starmoon City, Uncle will make a trip there. Golden Dragon King sighed. In the past few hundred years, he had been very unhappy. The Black Dragons had disappeared. As the clan leader of the dragons, the Black Dragons were part of the Black Dragon clan. The current situation was not something he was willing to see. Long Jin's proposal was much easier than the Azure Rock clan's proposal. Because Night Sorrow did not have any requests, the Golden Dragon clan only had the Golden Dragon King and Long Jin. There was no need for Dragon Language to be angered by anyone. The date was the same as Tianyu and Yi Nianxiao's. They were all married on the same day. The guests stayed for a few days before leaving Starmoon City. They could feel the aura of a new force in Starmoon City. The Desolate City's City Lord, King Yowu, the Grand Elder, and Night Sorrow said that they wanted to focus on nurturing the God-slaying squad. Seniors, there's naturally no problem on my side. However, the God-slaying squad is too young and lacking in strength. They can't be compared to the other Heaven Wasteland armies, Night Sorrow said. We chose them not just because they're young. They're all talents. It's just that they've been overshadowed by your excellence. They're all incredible talents no matter where they are, the Grand Elder said. Under such circumstances, Night Sorrow could no longer refuse. He agreed to bring everyone to Desolate City after Long Jin and Tianyu's wedding. The days passed peacefully. Night Sorrow's main body stayed in Nirvana Ocean and analyzed the Nirvana Storm's heaven and earth momentum that strengthened his attributes. When the reincarnation Nirvana flames invaded his divine sea, Night Sorrow raised his destruction attribute heaven and earth willpower to 89%. His spacetime attribute, death attribute, and life attribute all had significant improvements. This was because these 5 attributes were formed from the forbidden attribute reincarnation. After comprehending by analogy, his void attribute rose to 87%. This was because Night Sorrow's innate attribute was the most compatible. In his current cultivation state, Night Sorrow felt that his void attribute's heaven and earth momentum was increasing the fastest, followed by the death and life attributes. The destruction and spacetime attributes heaven and earth momentum were bottlenecks. Unless he didn't comprehend them, as long as he comprehended them, he would be able to enter 9-star Emperor, which was the peak Emperor rank. With improvements, Night Sorrow was happy. This was because he had the opportunity to comprehend by analogy. Attributes were either connected or relative. Destruction and death had many similarities. Void, destruction, and spacetime also had similarities. Staying at the bottom of the Nirvana Ocean, Night Sorrow cultivated in peace. The celestial realms seemed to have calmed down. Night Sorrow's clone stayed in Starmoon City to cultivate and improve his spear arts. Although the Blood Chelan Evil Punishing Spear was different from the Reincarnation Heavenly Halberd, Night Sorrow was used to the Blood Chelan Evil Punishing Spear. On this day, Night Sorrow was cultivating when Blue Uwan came. Seeing Blue Uwan come, Night Sorrow was stunned. This was because the Profound Ice Chelan Tiger was beside her. The Profound Ice Chelan Tiger had always been cultivating in 9 grand floors. Why? Because the profound ice Qilin tiger was a bit slow and wasn't suited to interact with people. 9 grand floors was rather quiet. Also, Night Sorrow didn't need a mount. Or rather, it wasn't suitable for him to use a mount. Who would dare to use a king-rank mount in a battle between emperors? Domain attacks and energy attacks were all fatal. Seeing Night Sorrow, the profound ice Qilin tiger roared and went to Night Sorrow's side. Night Sorrow had to raise his hand to touch the profound ice Qilin tiger's head. The profound ice Qilin tiger used its head to hit Night Sorrow's hand. The profound ice Qilin tiger had cultivated for 700 years and was now an overlord. Junior brother, this fella has been sleeping for the past 700 years. It even sleeps for 100 years and doesn't talk to anyone. However, it hasn't been peaceful for the past 2 months, so I had to bring it here, Blue Wan said. Then let it stay in Star Moon City from now on. Ice Qilin, this is your home. Don't hurt anyone. Do whatever you want. Night Sorrow patted the ice Qilin's neck again. The ice Qilin tiger's body shook and roared. It left Night Sorrow's side and rushed into Star Moon Lake. Something's wrong. Lu Qi went to Night Sorrow's side. 7th Elder, do you also feel that something is wrong? Night Sorrow looked at Lu Qi. Chapter 1978. Yes, I didn't notice it before. I'll have to ask clan leader Qi Rui to come here. Yi Shang nodded. He had sensed the dark ice unicorn tiger's excitement when it heard his words. What's going on? Lu Qi was confused. When the ice unicorn tiger was excited, my blood Qilin evil slaying spear vibrated. I'm afraid it has something to do with the blood Qilin tribe, Night Sorrow said as he looked at the blood Qilin evil slaying spear in his left hand. It's that complicated? Lu Qi looked at Night Sorrow in surprise. Yes. Therefore, we have to ask the blood Qilin tribe to come and take a look. Clan leader Qi, since your original body is in Infinite Desolation City, please help me inform them, Night Sorrow said to Lu Qi. Lu Qi nodded. He was just passing a message and it didn't take much effort. To Night Sorrow, it wasn't a big deal. However, to the blood Qilin tribe, it was a big deal. 2 days later, Qi Rui, Lin Xiao and Lin Yun arrived at Star Moon City. Night Sorrow invited them to the hall and told them about the ice unicorn tiger. He told them that the ice unicorn tiger was excited and had activated the blood Qilin evil slaying spear. Where is it? Bring us to see it. Qi Rui stood up and was excited. So were Lin Xiao and Lin Yun. This was an important piece of news. The dark ice unicorn tiger was in Star Moon City. However, they were guests and they couldn't use their soul power to check. It was disrespectful. Night Sorrow left the VIP hall and called the dark ice unicorn tiger back. The dark ice unicorn tiger walked to Shui Lin and the others. It twitched its nose and roared. Check and see what's going on, Night Sorrow said. There's no need to check. He's the reincarnation of Qi Yi's soul. However, his soul was severely damaged and he was confused. That's why your blood Qilin evil slaying spear couldn't retrieve his soul fragments, Qi Rui said. He understood everything when he saw the ice unicorn tiger. So that's how it is. This is a good thing. It's a good thing that third young master is back. Congratulations. Night Sorrow cupped his hands towards Qi Rui. Night Sorrow, our blood Qilin clan owes you a lot. This time, we want to take the ice Qilin away. We can give you some compensation, Lin Xiao said. Madam, you're too kind. It's not a big deal, so there's no need for any compensation. I'll let Ice Lin go back with you later. I'm sorry that I haven't taken good care of Ice Lin all these years, Night Sorrow said. You're treating me like an outsider. Lin Yu often talks about you now. Lin Yun touched the ice Qilin with tears in her eyes. She missed Qilin, her brother who had died many years ago. Night Sorrow looked at the blood Qilin vanquishing evil spear in his hand and handed it to Qi Rui. Third young master, you're back. Take the blood Qilin vanquishing evil spear. There's no need for that. The blood Qilin vanquishing evil spear has been baptized in the Saint Light Pond. At that time, Qi Rui's tailbone was purified into a few drops of blood essence. With those drops of blood as a primer, we can change the Ice Qilin's bloodline. Qi Rui pushed the blood Qilin vanquishing evil spear back to Night Sorrow. Night Sorrow received the blood Qilin clan in Starmoon City. Qi Rui's family stayed with the Ice Qilin. Perhaps because of its innate soul, the Ice Qilin was very close to them. After staying for a few days, Qi Rui and Lin Xiao took the Ice Qilin away. However, Lin Yun stayed behind. She wanted to train outside and Qi Rui and Lin Xiao agreed. Lin Yun's strength was not bad. In addition, she stayed with Night Sorrow, so Qi Rui and Lin Xiao were more at ease. Night Sorrow brought Lin Yun to the Humanitarian League and let her stay with Lin Piaomiao. Since Qi Rui left Lin Yun behind, he had to take good care of her. Because of her origin as a virtue beast and an auspicious beast, Lin Yun had an aura that made others feel close to her. Coupled with her easygoing personality, she got along very well with the members of the Humanitarian League and the God-Slaying Squad. After Night Sorrow finished dealing with the matters in Starmoon City, it was time for Night Moon to go to the manor. Every day, he would accompany the members of the God-Slaying Squad to practice their battle techniques. His comprehension of attribute fusion and battle techniques was top-notch. There was no problem for him to guide others in their cultivation. 8M Yongjiu, 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 the God-Slaying Squad also had one more member. It was Yi Ninxiao. She was about to become Tianyu's wife. The two of them naturally had to fight side by side. Lin Piaomiao hired people to tidy up the two mansions that Night Sorrow had bought, turning them into joyous bridal chambers. One of the mansions had the plaque, Yu Manor, the other, Long Manor. Night Sorrow really wanted to go see Wu Lingfei. However, he felt that if Wu Lingfei was fine, she should have returned. If she hadn't returned, then something must have happened. If he went to see her now, it would easily distract her. Everything was stable. Other than guiding the members of the God-Slaying Squad in their cultivation, Night Sorrow practiced his spear arts. In the past, Night Sorrow still had some misgivings about using the blood Qilin evil punishing spear. He was worried that if it was damaged, it would damage the Qilin wings. But now, he didn't need to worry about that. There were no battle reports from Tianhuang City. Night Sorrow and the others were leading Night Moon to the manor. Mo Zhantian and Mo Yutian were in a large valley outside Devil Imperial City. In front of them were two large square formations. One was the dragon-headed man formation, while the other was the snake-headed man formation. These were the elites of the dragon-headed man and snake-headed man formations that Mo Tianji had tossed to Mo Yutian. The heavenly concubine has been there for more than 700 years. There is still no news. I wonder if she has gotten her body back, Mo Yutian said. The heavenly concubine is a smart person. Perhaps she has already gotten her body back and is cultivating somewhere. We didn't get the Tianhuang war halberd in the reincarnation battlefield. That was a mistake. But bringing back these warriors has strengthened them a lot, Mo Zhantian said as he looked at the snake-headed man and dragon-headed man armies. After bringing back the dragon-headed man and snake-headed man, Mo Yutian and Mo Zhantian began to strengthen their actual combat strength. After 700 years, the Devil Wing clan had built two powerful armies. The Devil Wing clan didn't do anything. They were mainly waiting for news from Mo Tianji. Mo Tianji was one of the three great heavens of the Devil Wing clan. She was the leader. Whether she was here or not was very important. If the patriarch can wake up, then we will have no problem waging war against the celestial realm. Unfortunately, there are too few soul fragments in those two strands of hair. It's not enough to wake him up, Mo Yutian said. It will take time. Even if there are soul fragments, it will be difficult to gather enough soul fragments. Mo Zhantian shook his head. Don't worry. There is still an epoch. Time is not short. If we plan carefully and fight to the death, there is still a chance. Mo Yutian turned his head and looked in the direction of the celestial realm. The celestial realm's lifespan has come to an end. But this step still has to be taken. The passage to the new supreme world must be in the celestial realm. Mo Yutian nodded. The Devil Wing clan also knew that the celestial realm's lifespan was coming to an end. But they still had to conquer it. According to the rules of the past, the new supreme world and the old supreme world were connected. So, they had some plans. The first step of their plan was to conquer the Reincarnation Island. Chapter 1979. Currently, only the Nirvana Ocean Bridge was connected to the celestial realm. It was difficult for the demon-winged race to enter the celestial realm through the Nirvana Ocean Bridge because the heavenly desolate city was there. Therefore, Mo Yutian and Mo Zhantian thought of another way, which was to use the reincarnation battlefield, which was the Reincarnation Island. After occupying the Reincarnation Island, they could set up an array that could affect the Nirvana Tide. This way, they could open up a path or even set up a teleportation array. Of course, this was a huge project. Even if they occupied the Reincarnation Island, it wouldn't be easy to set up an array to open up a path. Night Sorrow cultivated in the Nirvana Ocean. However, he felt that the Nirvana Tide wasn't powerful enough. It would be better if he was further away from the heavenly desolate city and out of the array's area of effect. However, before he left, Night Sorrow felt that the Nirvana Tide wasn't as effective as the Reincarnation Storm. It wasn't even as effective as the area where the Void Purple Light Snake was. At the thought of the area where the Void Purple Light Snake was, Night Sorrow was tempted. In the past, Night Sorrow couldn't go there because the Nirvana Tide platform was violent. On the Nirvana Ocean Bridge, one couldn't withstand it without an Emperor Realm cultivation, let alone the vast Nirvana Ocean. Even emperors couldn't withstand it. It was a forbidden area. However, Night Sorrow had a chance now. He had the reincarnation domain. The reincarnation attribute was a forbidden attribute and a combination attribute. It surpassed the supreme attribute and suppressed all other attributes except the primordial attribute. After confirming the direction, Night Sorrow flew towards the reincarnation battlefield, or rather, the Reincarnation Island, with the protection of the reincarnation domain. To be honest, Night Sorrow felt that he hadn't fully explored the reincarnation battlefield. There was still a mystery that hadn't been solved. The previous war at the end of the Reincarnation Island was a life-and-death battle between the 100 Race Alliance and the Demon-Winged Race. However, Night Sorrow didn't find that kind of aura on the battlefield. He only went to the place where the human emperor and the demon ancestor fought. Logically speaking, this shouldn't be the case. Night Sorrow had asked King Yawu about this. King Yawu said that he, the Heavenly Desolate City Lord, and the Grand Elder were fighting on the periphery. He didn't have the qualifications to come into contact with the core area. Night Sorrow used the Samsara domain to fly. The Nirvana Storm was blocked outside of the domain. Other than the consumption, there was no damage. It didn't take long for King Yawu to travel from the reincarnation battlefield to Tianhuang City. However, the reincarnation battlefield had appeared at that time and counteracted the tide of Nirvana. Now that Nirvana Storm had recovered, it took 4 days for Night Sorrow to reach his destination. Right now, Samsara Island was completely different from when Night Sorrow was here. The island was full of storms and whirlpools, and the situation was much worse than before. Night Sorrow was not afraid of this kind of situation. If the situation was bad, it meant that the manifestation of the world's momentum was stronger, making it easier to cultivate. After breaking through the violent Nirvana Tide, Night Sorrow landed on Samsara Island. The second time he came, the Night Sorrow felt completely different from the last time. Last time, it was the oppressive aura of deathly stillness. This time, it was the kind of open and violent oppressive aura. Night Sorrow didn't care about this feeling. He planned to find a safe place to lie down and cultivate. After going through so many things, sleeping for 700 years without any news, his family was very worried. Now that the 9 domain clones were at home while the other clone was handling some matters in the celestial realm, the main body could cultivate in peace. As long as he spent some time, Knight Sorrow felt that it wouldn't be hard to reach the peak emperor rank. With the strength of a peak emperor, adding on the power of his attributes and absolute arts, Knight Sorrow didn't have to worry about anyone plotting against him. B6 Look at Q0 version *upper H, FV. With the cultivation of a peak middle-class emperor rank, Knight Sorrow didn't need to be as careful as last time. Even if there was a group of dragon and snake-headed people blocking the way, they wouldn't be able to stop him. Knight Sorrow's target was the place where he cultivated last time. He intended to raise his nihility attribute. As for his own attribute, Knight Sorrow still liked the nihility attribute the most. The destruction attribute was more domineering, but it didn't have the elegance and tolerance of the nihility attribute. After a few days, Knight Sorrow arrived at the Broken Sky Mountain region and directly went to the Nihility Purple Light region. The Nihility Purple Light snake was a supreme attribute, but it couldn't be compared to Knight Sorrow's reincarnation attribute. In the past, he needed merit energy to suppress it, but now he didn't need to. Knight Sorrow could use his reincarnation domain to suppress it. Passing through the stronghold from last time, Knight Sorrow took out the Clear Sky Pagoda. After enlarging it, he sat down and started cultivating. The Nihility Purple Light snake didn't like destruction aura. Since he was releasing destruction aura, the Purple Light snake wouldn't come close. With the main body's problems solved, Knight Sorrow let out a breath of relief. He was afraid that there was no hope in doing anything. With hope, there would be motivation. Misty Dynasty Night Moon Villa. Seeing Knight Sorrow's clone sitting in the waterside pavilion drinking tea, Lin Piaomiao was a bit bewildered. This was because Knight Sorrow had a smile on his face. This situation wasn't common. Knight Sorrow, what are you happy about? Lin Piaomiao sat beside Knight Sorrow. I entered the reincarnation island and went to the good place where I had my epiphany last time. Knight Sorrow said with a smile. Aren't you a bit too daring? I heard that after the reincarnation battlefield spatial barrier was shattered, it was no longer suitable for living. Why did you go there? That Nirvana storm is very dangerous. Lin Piaomiao glared at Knight Sorrow. My reincarnation domain can suppress the Nirvana storm. As for the harsh environment, it is indeed so. You know that the harsher the environment, the stronger the heaven and earth trend. There are spatial whirlpools in the surrounding tens of thousands of miles. There are also groups of void purple light snakes that don't attack me. Therefore, I can cultivate at ease. There's nothing much today. Can you tell me about the cultivation path of peak emperor rank? Knight Sorrow explained his situation. Lin Piaomiao nodded. You will come in contact with it sooner or later. I'll tell you about it. First, I'll talk about Emperor's Calamity. Soon after, Lin Piaomiao told Knight Sorrow about the 9-star Emperor rank, which was the path after peak Emperor rank. After grasping 90% of the heaven and earth trend, every bit of progress wasn't easy. The later 90% of heaven and earth trend corresponded to the 9 Emperor's Calamity. Emperor's Calamity mainly depended on one's age. For example, with the strength of 3 Emperor's Calamity, if one's lifespan was less than a small era, the Emperor's Calamity wouldn't come of its own accord. Of course, if one activated the heaven and earth trend and triggered the Emperor's Calamity, the Emperor's Calamity would naturally come. Great Devil King, Fan Tian, and I all have less than a small era of lifespan. However, if we cultivate faster, we can trigger the Emperor's Calamity. After passing the 9 Emperor's Calamity, the heaven and earth trend has been comprehended to perfection. Next is the Emperor's Calamity. Lin Piaomiao said. What's the difference between triggering the 9 Emperor's Calamity on its own accord and on its own accord? Knight Sorrow asked. Why would we trigger the 9 Emperor's Calamity on our own accord? Because after passing the 9 Emperor's Calamity, it is easy to continue comprehending the heaven and earth trend. There are almost no bottlenecks. Without passing the 9 Emperor's Calamity, it is extremely difficult to increase one's comprehension of the heaven and earth trend. Lin Piaomiao said. Chapter 1980. That's the truth. However, normal emperors wouldn't initiate the emperor's calamity because it's very powerful. Those who aren't strong enough and don't have good survival skills would wait for a small era to pass before the emperor's calamity comes. That way, they would have enough time to cultivate. Lin Piaomiao explained to Night Sorrow. I understand. It depends on my situation. Night Sorrow nodded. He felt that the emperor's calamity based on his lifespan wasn't suitable for him. Why? Because he would have to face the god's calamity in the future. He only had one era. If anything happens to the main body, just tell me. You can't have any more problems now. Lin Piaomiao looked at Night Sorrow with worry in her eyes. Alright, I won't be rash. I can't let go of everything now. This is what I realized when the nirvana flames entered my body. Night Sorrow held Lin Piaomiao's hand and said. Lin Piaomiao nodded. She could understand because Night Sorrow's reluctant gaze was still in the deepest part of her memory. What a pity. When the main body was at home, we still couldn't have children. Night Sorrow looked at Lin Piaomiao and said apologetically. Night Sorrow's wives all had children. Currently, only Lin Piaomiao didn't. She knew that Lin Piaomiao also wanted a child. We are all emperors. The chances of having children are very low. As I said before, our lifespan is long. Now, it's up to you. Lin Piaomiao said. During the 700 years when Night Sorrow was unconscious, Lin Piaomiao was frantically trying to increase her strength. Now that she had passed the emperor's calamity, it meant that for the next 2 eras, there wouldn't be any more calamities. I'll be fine. Night Sorrow smiled. I believe you. Right now, you have many ways to improve. Hence, there's no need for you to increase one attribute too much. You should increase the other attributes as well. Only then can the combined reincarnation attribute be effective, Lin Piaomiao said. My time and space attributes combine to form the space-time attribute. Then, life and death attributes can be combined too. That way, I don't need 2 attributes to analyze. Night Sorrow said. I remember that I collected a book left behind by an emperor who combined life and death attributes. Let me see. The new attribute combined life and death attributes is called limitless. It's also called yin and yang. Lin Piaomiao started rummaging through her storage ring. After taking the book, Yi Shang was in no hurry to read it. Instead, he looked at Lin Piaomiao. Why are you looking at me if you're not looking at the book? Lin Piaomiao was a little embarrassed to be stared at by Yi Shang. Because you're prettier than the books, Yi Shang said. You. Why did you become so naughty when you woke up? Lin Piaomiao's face was red. People have different realizations at different times. This time, after sleeping for 700 years, my realizations are to cherish everything around me, to cherish every little thing around me, Yi Shang said. Lin Piaomiao raised her left hand and grabbed one of Night Sorrow's hands. She knew that Night Sorrow had deep feelings for her and his family. I used to think that I could face everything calmly. But in reality, that's not the case. The last time I faced death, I realized that there were too many things that I couldn't let go of. Too many things that I couldn't bear to part with. Night Sorrow said softly. If you can really bear to part with it, we'll hate you to death. Datura came to the waterside pavilion too. Night Sorrow reached out his right hand and pulled Datura to sit beside him. They say that after cultivating for a long time, people become numb and emotionless. But it doesn't seem to be the case for us. Now, I only know that I miss my family. I miss you, I miss my children, and I miss my parents. Night Sorrow said. Isn't it the same for your family? 700 years. It's been a dark 700 years for the city in the sky. When little Luo became an emperor, the family didn't celebrate. Father only drank 2 jars of wine because everyone was thinking about the scene when you became an emperor hundreds of years ago. Luo didn't even come out of the Yellow Springs River in the evil Punisher land. Lin Piaomiao said. Little Luo must be feeling bad. Why did he work so hard? Isn't it for the stability of the family? Isn't it for our recognition? Night Sorrow smiled. I owe him all these years. Datura nodded. Also, the children are all grown up. We have to pay attention to their love life. Their achievements aren't low, but compared to other cultivators, they're too inexperienced. Our Yi family is also a family that some people are thinking about. Night Sorrow said to his two wives. Yujun and Xian's matter has been settled, but they don't plan to get married. They feel that they're still young and want to fight for more time. Lin Piaomiao said. Let them be. Night Sorrow didn't care at all. Night Sorrow, I heard that the 7th patriarch was looking for some extreme medicinal herbs a few days ago. One of them is the heavenly Dao flower. I don't know what it's for. He's helping us guard Star Moon City now. Shouldn't we help him? Datura brought up another topic. Heavenly Dao flower? We have it. I'll send it over later. Night Sorrow nodded. The heavenly Dao flower was precious, but Night Sorrow felt that the relationship between people was the most precious. After chatting with his two wives for a while, Night Sorrow took the teleportation array to Star Moon City. After exiting the teleportation array, Night Sorrow saw Lu Qi and the Golden Holy Spirit sitting on the glazed roof of the City Lord's mansion's side hall, drinking wine. In a flash, Night Sorrow also went to the glazed roof of the side hall and took out a jar of wine. Why are you in such a good mood today? Lu Qi looked at Night Sorrow with some surprise. This was because the Night Sorrow and his impression wouldn't run over and drink with him directly. I'm in such a good mood today. Little Gu, work hard. One day, the heavenly Dao will merge with your body. Then, you can drink with us. Night Sorrow looked at the Golden Holy Spirit and said. The Golden Holy Spirit nodded at Night Sorrow. After interacting with many people, he understood some words and some things. 7th Elder, Night Sorrow is very grateful that you are staying in Star Moon City. I also thank you for guiding Little Gu's cultivation all these years. Night Sorrow cupped his hands at 7th Elder. I don't know what's wrong with you today. Let's drink. Lu Qi glanced at Night Sorrow. He knew that Night Sorrow was the human sovereign. However, he felt that respect didn't lie in words. Respect came from the heart. Night Sorrow and Lu Qi drank in Star Moon City. In Tianhuang City, the Grand Elder was a little anxious because Night Sorrow had disappeared. The Grand Elder went to the city wall of Tianhuang City and used his soul power to scan the place where Night Sorrow used to cultivate. He wanted to check on Night Sorrow's situation. However, he was stunned because Night Sorrow had disappeared. After releasing his soul power and checking the surrounding area, the Grand Elder was a little anxious because he couldn't find Night Sorrow's figure. For the human race, anything related to Night Sorrow was no small matter. The Grand Elder first found a fortune teller, but he couldn't divine Night Sorrow's body. The divination wasn't clear. Then, he told Tianhuang City Lord about this. Chapter 1981. Tran Hung shook his head. Don't worry, he might have changed his location. My clone is in the Ethereal Empire's territory. If I go over later, it will be troublesome. Night Sorrow and Lu Qi drank for a while and planned to leave. He took out a black jade box and handed it to Lu Qi. This is what 7th Elder needs. Night Sorrow has it. Little Gu, don't look at it. This is what 7th Elder needs. If you need anything, tell me and I will help you find it. I will definitely be stingy. With that, Yi Shang stepped onto the teleportation array. He had come here to give Lu Qi the heavenly Dao flower. Leaving after leaving something behind? What is this? Lu Qi wiped his hands and opened the black jade box. Heavenly Dao flower. He actually got the heavenly Dao flower? Lu Qi sobered up. He had never seen the heavenly Dao flower before, but it didn't mean that he recognized it. After thinking for a while, Lu Qi understood. Night Sorrow didn't know why he got the heavenly Dao flower. He thought that he needed it and sent it over when he heard the news. Although it wasn't for himself, Lu Qi understood that in Night Sorrow's heart, giving him a petal of the heavenly Tao flower was nothing. Little Gu, this is for you. My real body will come over. Take this and ask an alchemy master to refine it into the flesh-bone regenerating pill. When the time comes, you have to drink with me. Lu Qi patted Little Gu's shoulder. After staying in Star Moon City for hundreds of years, Lu Qi and Little Gu had a deep relationship. It was also Lu Qi who had been guiding Little Gu's cultivation. Now that Little Gu was already an imperial emperor, he didn't want to give the heavenly Tao flower to others. Therefore, his real body was already on the way. Night Sorrow received a spiritual message when he stepped out of the Night Moon Villa's teleportation array. Night Sorrow was stunned when he heard the spiritual message. Then, he walked out of the teleportation array and walked towards the Twilight Tea House. Tran Hung was originally in the Ethereal Empire. When he received the news from the Grand Elder, he came to the Night Moon Villa. After searching for a while, he did not find Night Sorrow. He was a little anxious, and just as he was about to go in and ask, Night Sorrow came out of the teleportation array. Seeing Night Sorrow's steady steps, he was relieved. He sent a soul message to Night Sorrow to meet him at the Twilight Tea House. When Night Sorrow went to the Samsara battlefield for the first time, he said that Night Sorrow was back and wanted to invite Night Sorrow for tea. When they arrived at the entrance of the Twilight Tea House, they saw Tran Hung. Night Sorrow cupped his hands to Tran Hung and led Tran Hung into the Moon Pavilion. Why did the City Lord come to the Misty Dynasty? Did something big happen? Night Sorrow asked as he brewed tea. Something big. The human emperor's main body disappeared under our noses. Tran Hung looked at Night Sorrow and said, "It's not a big deal. I just changed a place to cultivate. I'm sorry for making you worry." Night Sorrow said with a smile. "Don't call me Lord. You're the virtuous merit monarch, the human emperor. You're upright and virtuous. Who can call themselves Lord in front of you?" Tran Hung shook his head. "The City Lord is the leader of the humans and the 100 races of the celestial realm. Every living being in the celestial realm has to respect him. As for why my main body left, it was because I felt that the Nirvana storm near the Heavenly Desolation City wasn't strong enough. Therefore, I changed my location. It's safe." Night Sorrow said, "There's danger in the depths of the Nirvana Ocean. If you're near the Heavenly Desolation City, we can take care of you." Tran Hung shook his head. He knew that Night Sorrow was a hard-working person. "I'm not in the depths of the Nirvana Ocean, but it's still considered the depths. I went to the reincarnation battlefield." Night Sorrow told Tran Hung about the whereabouts of his main body. There was nothing he could hide from Tran Hung. Reincarnation battlefield, the current reincarnation island? Tran Hung looked at Night Sorrow in astonishment. "Yes, it's now called Reincarnation Island. It's the place where I had my epiphany. The heaven and earth grand momentum there is very strong. It's more suitable for me." Night Sorrow nodded and explained his situation in detail. "Only you would dare and only you would have the guts to go to that place. It's fine as long as you're safe. If there's an emergency, you have to protect yourself first. Then, send a clone to the Heavenly Desolation City to inform us. We can rush there at any time." Tran Hung took a sip of tea and said, "That's not right. If you can go to the City Lord, then the Demon-Winged Clan can go too. We can set up the Great Star Formation on the Nirvana Ocean Bridge and build the Heavenly Desolation City. The Demon-Winged Clan might use Reincarnation Island to make a fuss." After hearing Tran Hung's words, Night Sorrow, who originally wanted to thank Tran Hung, thought of another problem. Night Sorrow's words made Tran Hung put the teacup back on the table. "It's not impossible. The Heavenly Desolation Island's innate environment is worse than the Heavenly Desolation City. However, if we don't care about the cost, the situation you mentioned might happen. Then we have to be careful. First of all, the dragon-headed man and snake-headed man in the reincarnation battlefield have disappeared. They weren't taken away by us, so it must be the demon-winged clan. Although Mo Tianji came to the celestial realm, she must have met and communicated with the big figures of the demon-winged clan. With the dragon-headed man and snake-headed man, the demon-winged clan has some natural advantages if they want to attack Reincarnation Island. Night Sorrow said. When I go back, I will discuss it with your uncle and the Grand Elder in detail. Fortunately, you are from the celestial realm. If you were from the heavenly desolation, we might have been defeated unknowingly. Tran Hung looked at Night Sorrow and felt somewhat lucky. My conjecture will bring trouble to the city lord and the elders. Night Sorrow knew that his idea was a pressure on the heavenly desolation city and the 100 Races alliance. If you have a big heart, then there's no trouble. If you are destroyed one day, you won't even know how you were destroyed. Your conjecture is completely possible. The construction cost of the heavenly desolation city is very high because it is a city, a fortress, and we intend to operate it for a long time. However, the demon-winged clan doesn't need to do this at all because they want to attack the celestial realm, not defend it. Therefore, it is enough to build Reincarnation Island into a stronghold. Tran Hung shook his head. He was a little scared. If this matter was not solved, they would not know when they would be attacked in the celestial realm. At least, the existence of the heavenly desolation city would be ineffective. After chatting with Night Sorrow for a while, Tran Hung left the Twilight Tea House and asked Night Sorrow to inform him as soon as possible if something happened. Night Sorrow might not feel anything, but the city lord and the others were anxious. If the demon-winged clan really occupied Reincarnation Island and set up the transmission formation, then they would be in big trouble. On the way back to the Night Moon Villa, Night Sorrow was also thinking about this problem. However, he felt that at present, the only thing he could do was to remind them and cultivate hard. If one wanted to have an influence, then one must have a status and the right to speak in the 100 Clans Alliance. To have the right to speak, one must have strength. Of course, Night Sorrow did not care about the right to speak, nor did he think about it. If he wanted the right to speak, he would not refuse the title of Human Emperor. In the Heavenly Desolation City, Tran Hung held a meeting of the elders of the 100 clans and informed King Yawu. When everyone was present, the city lord said that Reincarnation Island was a danger to the celestial realm. If I didn't see Night Sorrow, I wouldn't have thought of the problem of Reincarnation Island. We must come up with a proper countermeasure. After talking about the crisis, the city lord waved his hand, indicating that others could speak. Yi Shang thought of it? Lu Qi's true body asked. Chapter 1982. Lu Qi's original body went to Star Moon City to retrieve the heavenly Dao flower and gave it to Elder Spirit Tree. He requested Elder Spirit Tree to concoct the flesh-bone regenerating pill and then received a notification. Yes, if he didn't mention it, I wouldn't have thought of it, and neither would you. We thought that the situation on Samsara Island was bad, so we thought that there was no problem. We didn't think that some bad situations could be overcome, said the Lord of Heavenly Wasteland City. The solution to this matter is nothing more than prevention. We have to prevent Samsara Island from becoming a stronghold and base for the demon-winged clan, said Qin Qinjie. Samsara Island means different things to us. It's of little value to us and meaningless to occupy, but to the demon-winged clan, it's a fat piece of meat that can be used to fight against Heavenly Wasteland City, said King Yawu. So, whether the other side has thought of this or not, we have to defend the key point of the war, the Samsara battlefield, said the Lord of Heavenly Wasteland City. The elders of the 100 Races finally decided that King Yawu's doppelganger would lead the elders of the 100 Races and the soldiers of the First Army to Samsara Island and station there. By the way, everyone knows about the god-slaying squad of Star Moon City, right? They have an average lifespan of more than 800 years, but the lowest level is King, Emperor, and Emperor. The members include the Golden Dragon Clan, the Green Rock Clan, the Nine-Tailed Fox Clan, and so on. I plan to train them with all my strength. What do you think? Said the Grand Elder. The god-slaying squad is very famous now. I've done some research. They are a squad under Night Sorrow and have grown up with Night Sorrow. Their individual battle strength aside, the key point is that their ability to cooperate in battle is extremely strong. I don't know how many battles they have fought in the past, but it's a miracle that no one has died, said a Tiger Clan elder. The development trend of the First Army of the Heaven Wasteland Army is actually the model of the God-slaying squad. The First Army is stronger than the God-slaying squad because the soldiers are all Emperor, but in terms of maturity and cooperation, they can't be compared to the First Army. So, I want to train this squad. Let's vote now. After the Grand Elder talked about the advantages of the God-slaying squad, he asked the elders of the 100 races for their opinion. There were no objections, and all of them passed. This was because everyone felt that the God-slaying squad was worth nurturing. After passing the resolution, Lu Qi directly suggested that they bring the God-slaying squad to Samsara Island for training. It was safer for now. After all, King Yewu had brought a group of elders and the First Army with him. This is a good idea. However, we need to ask for Knight Soro's opinion first. If he does not say anything, it is hard to say whether the God-slaying team will go or not. Coercive orders are ineffective against Starmoon City. We need to respect his opinion, the Grand Elder said. All the elders of the 100 races nodded. Everyone knew about Knight Soro's situation. He was an uncrowned king, an uncrowned human emperor. Even the origin sector venerables of the celestial realm had to give him face, let alone others. The Grand Elder brought Elder Spiritual Tree and Qin Xinjie to the ethereal imperial city. After meeting with Knight Soro, he asked for Knight Soro's opinion. It is a good idea for the God-slaying squad to go out. It will be a good training for them. However, the problem is that there are still 2 months before Dragon Gold and Dragon Language. It is Tianyu and my sister's wedding. The timing is not too good. However, going out is a big deal. I will talk to them about it, Knight Soro said after thinking for a while. There is no hurry. King Yewu will bring a group of elders and the First Army. They will be able to stabilize the situation. Our people are not going for construction. They are going to prevent others from using Samsara Island. I will send the God-slaying squad there later, the Grand Elder said. Oh, in that case, I will explain what I am doing and inform my parents. Then I will report to the First Army. Knight Soro nodded. He was the First Army's captain. He had to report back when the First Army went out. No need. You, Long Jin, and Tianyu do not need to return to the First Army. You will bring the God-slaying squad there later, the Grand Elder said. He knew that if he did not say anything, Knight Soro would definitely put down his work and go with the First Army. Knight Soro's only sister's wedding day was coming soon. Thank you, Grand Elder. Knight Soro understood that the Grand Elder was taking care of him. Then the Grand Elder said that the 100 tribes' elders had decided to train the God-slaying squad. Knight Soro fell into deep thought. He did not care about himself, but he had to be careful about putting a responsibility on his brothers and sisters. After thinking for a while, Knight Soro raised his head. Grand Elder, I personally don't care what I do for the human race and the 100 Races Alliance. I don't say that I have no regrets, but I will definitely do what I have to do. But the God-slaying squad is different. If they accept the training of the Heavenly Wasteland City, they will only die for the 100 Races Alliance. Therefore, I have to respect their opinion. Actually, you still don't understand the Heavenly Wasteland City and the 100 Races Alliance. The 100 Races Alliance is voluntary. Any member of the 100 Races Alliance who feels that the 100 Races Alliance is not suitable can withdraw. As long as they do not betray the celestial realm, the 100 Races Alliance will not treat anyone as an enemy. Of course, when they are in the 100 Races Alliance, they have to obey the Elders Guild's orders. When they are in the Heavenly Wasteland Army, they have to obey military orders. This is the rule, the Grand Elder said earnestly. That's right. The 100 Races Alliance doesn't demand anything. Supporting the God-slaying team is also completely voluntary. This support isn't an excuse to ask the God-slaying team to do anything. You have to believe us, Elder Spirit Tree said. Grand Elder, Spiritual Tree Elder, Night Sorrow is very sorry. I shouldn't have thought so little of others. It's just that the brothers of the God-slaying squad are too important to me. They have no regrets following me into battle. I have to be responsible for them. Forgive Night Sorrow for speaking rudely. Night Sorrow said somewhat apologetically. He understood what it meant to be respected. The three in front of him were people of virtue and prestige. I understand you very well. This is what a qualified commander should do. It's also the reason why the soldiers under your command are so strong. It's because they trust you unconditionally. If it were me, I would also trust you. Qin Xinjie said. Night Sorrow understands. I will tell the God-slaying squad now, Night Sorrow said as he stood up. Go. The Grand Elder smiled and nodded. He was very pleased. This was because Night Sorrow was a person with a sense of responsibility. No matter what the situation is outside, he has his own persistence. This is rare. The first time I saw him, I felt that he would definitely have a bright future. I just didn't expect him to rise so quickly. He is already the human emperor of the 100 Races Alliance, the Spiritual Tree Elder said somewhat emotionally. Chapter 1983. Alright, that's a good idea. The City Lord already had some plans. Now, we can slowly push them forward. The Grand Elder nodded. What plans does the City Lord have? Qin Xinjie asked. You all know that I, the City Lord, and King Yowu have already lived through 8 eras. We don't have much lifespan left, so we've been thinking about the successor. Before Night Sorrow appeared, we already had some plans. The Grand Elder didn't hide the original plan from the Spirit Tree Sect Elder and Qin Xinjie. Before Night Sorrow appeared, the Divine Capital only had one young City Lord, Fan Tian. However, he wasn't strong enough and needed a powerful Great Elder. There were 2 candidates, Pu Luo and Lu Qi. However, Pu Luo was too casual and wasn't suitable. Hence, Lu Qi was chosen. When Lu Qi arrived at the desolate city, the disciplined sect elder needed a strong candidate. The successor of the disciplined sect elder had to be stable and righteous. Hence, Lin Piaomiao was chosen. The successor of the Grand Elder was decided to be the Great Demon King. The Grand Elder didn't think it was suitable because the Great Demon King had a murderous nature. However, the City Lord of the desolate city made the decision. What did he say? In troubled times, severe punishments were used. He had to be tough. #permanent asterisk. Read novels for free. The City Lord of the Divine Capital, the Grand Elder, and the Disciplined Sect Elder all have their successors. What about the City Lord of the Desolate City? Why isn't there any arrangement? The Spirit Tree Sect Elder asked. The City Lord said that he had his own arrangements. Hence, he didn't decide on a candidate. Now that the human sovereign is born, he will have to shoulder the responsibility slowly. This commander is necessary. The Grand Elder made his decision. Night Sorrow gathered the God-slaying team and told them what the Grand Elder had told him. Captain, you can arrange it as you see fit. You don't have to tell us about such things. Long Jean said. The others nodded. I brought you guys out of the 9-domain world. You guys have achieved something and are qualified to decide your own path. Hence, there are some things that I still need you guys to decide. Night Sorrow said. Captain, before we met you, we were just ordinary warriors of the Eastern Xian region. Everything we have today was given to us by Captain. That's why we'll follow you until the world is stable and no one dares to go against us, Xueling said. Captain and I are brothers in life and death. Captain can make the decision. If we make the decision ourselves, we don't know when we'll end up in a ditch, Ho Jian said with a smile. Alright, let me make some arrangements. Long Jin, Dragon Language, Tianyu, and Nianxiao's wedding will be held in 2 months' time. After their wedding, our god-slaying squad will fight again. Take a good rest during this period. Don't forget to prepare your gifts. I've already prepared mine, haha. Night Sorrow said with a smile. Big brother, I've already applied to the family's council of elders to resign from the position of emperor. The next emperor will be chosen between Qin Yan and Yujun. What do you think? After they finished talking about the god-slaying squad, Yin Yan began to talk about family matters. Qin Yan and Yujun? I don't care about that, Night Sorrow said. Brother 13, is this a big matter? Tianyu asked. What's so big about it? Either Qin Yan or Yujun can manage the Night Moon Empire without a problem. Besides, with Captain around, even if the Night Moon doesn't have an emperor, they won't be able to overturn the heavens, said Long Jin. What? Captain Long, are you saying that I, the former emperor, am just a decoration? Yin Yan glanced at Long Jin with some dissatisfaction. Haha. That's not what I meant. Long Jin laughed and explained. That's how it is. As long as my big brother is around, the 9 regions world will be stable and the Night Moon Empire will be stable. Yin Yan pulled on Night Sorrow's arm. Of Luo, we'll inform all our friends about their wedding. We'll accept gifts. This time, our Yi family will accept gifts. However, we'll use the gifts as dowry, Night Sorrow said to Datura. All right. This wedding will definitely be grand and glorious. Datura knew what Night Sorrow meant. Brother 13, will I be treated like this when I get married? Yi Mei asked. Haha. Of course. However, you'll have to consider getting married first, Night Sorrow said to Yi Mei. After making arrangements for the god-slaying squad, Night Sorrow invited the Grand Elder, Elder Ling Shu, and Qin Xinjie to the Twilight Tea House for tea. The Twilight Tea House's tea ceremony and taste naturally received high praise from Elder Ling Shu and Qin Xinjie. In the beginning, there were people who questioned the price of the Twilight Tea House and said that it was a bad influence on the celestial realm. What nonsense. This is a milestone for human civilization, Qin Xinjie said. Night Sorrow, your appearance is a cleansing of the bad cultivators in the celestial realm. Yu Kuan, Bai Qiu Yuan, and the others have all fallen. This is a good thing, the Grand Elder said. Night Sorrow only smiled. He had only dealt with those who were not pleasing to the eye. Since the first army was going to fight, Night Sorrow had to go back and inform them. Night Sorrow followed the Grand Elder, Qin Xinjie, and Elder Ling Shu back to the Tianhuang city. Since it was late, Night Sorrow returned to his mansion first. He meditated in the mansion and studied the fusion of the life attribute and the death attribute. He cultivated for 2 days. 2 days later, Night Sorrow arrived at the encampment of the First Army. Seeing Night Sorrow's arrival, the people of the First Army quickly gathered. Greetings, Commander. The first group of people shouted as they knocked on their breastplates. What Commander? Night Sorrow was confused. Commander, you don't know? Yesterday, the Council of Elders issued an order to promote the captain to a commander, Dong said. Why should I be a commander? I just need to lead the First Army. I don't care about the other armies. I'll tell the Grand Elder about it later. Night Sorrow shook his head. He did not want to be a commander if he was too busy. It's not what you think. After the captain is promoted to a commander, he will only be in charge of the First Army and the God-slaying team, Long Jin's doppelganger in the First Army said. That's good. Long Jin, Tianyu, your doppelganger should go back to the ethereal imperial city first. You'll be the second batch to go to the battle. The wedding is more important, Night Sorrow said. Okay. Long Jin and Tianyu did not refuse because the wedding was a big deal. Brothers of the First Army, you may already know the mission. We'll set off for the Samsara Island soon. I won't go with you this time. I'll meet you later. Dong, you discuss the details of the team with the other captains. I want everyone to be alive, Night Sorrow said to Dong. Yes, sir. Dong and the other captains knocked on their breastplates. If there's an emergency, break my messaging crystal. Night Sorrow threw a soul messaging crystal to Dong. If I break it, the captain won't be able to come to us, Zhuodong said with a smile. Chapter 1984. Has Commander arrived? Flower without words looked at Night Sorrow in surprise. Yes, but if the situation is stable, wait for my doppelganger to arrive, Night Sorrow said to Zhuodong. Yes, Commander. Don't worry. Zhuodong nodded. He admired Night Sorrow very much because he saw the changes in the First Army after Night Sorrow's arrival. That's enough. Get ready. Yi Shan left the First Army and went straight to the teleportation array. Night Sorrow didn't think it was necessary to ask the Grand Elder about the First Army and the God-slaying team. It didn't matter who the commander or captain was. Long Jin and Tianyu didn't leave directly. They led the sergeants of the First Army to Shen Du City and invited everyone to a feast before returning to the Ethereal Dynasty. After Night Sorrow returned to the Night Moon Villa, he went into seclusion in the attic. He planned to infer the attributes of life and death and combine them. In this way, he wouldn't have to worry about comprehending the general trend of heaven and earth. Night Sorrow deduced the time acceleration in the Haotian godly pagoda. 2 months was a short time in the real world, but 2 months was equivalent to more than 10 years in the real world. The wedding of Long Jin, Dragon Language, Tianyu and Nianxiao was arranged by Datura and Lin Piaomiao. The 3 world groups of the chaotic realm had been informed that the wedding of Night Sorrow's sister and brother was a big event. Night Sorrow didn't intend to keep a low profile when he asked Datura to inform them. He didn't care about his reputation, but he wanted to make the wedding of his sister and brother grand. After the news was spread, the leaders of the 3 world groups of the chaotic realm had all arrived. The VIP hotels in the Star Moon City were full of guests. Lin Piaomiao rented a few more inns in the Ethereal Empire. Only then was it enough. As for the Ethereal Empire's VIP tower, it was also full because many guests from the Heaven Realm had arrived. 5D Yongf hashtag long time free W looked small. No matter what guests came, they did not see Night Sorrow. No one despised Night Sorrow for being too arrogant. Those who understood him knew that he was a cultivation maniac. At this time, no one was worried that the Devil-Winged clan would come to cause trouble. Now that the Ethereal Imperial City and Star Moon City were filled with experts, whoever came to cause trouble at this time would definitely be looking for trouble. Because they had to receive guests, as the bride's parents, Yi Wuyo and Yu Qing had both come to Star Moon City to receive guests. They were both staying in Night Sorrow's mansion. After settling the guests, Lin Piaomiao and Datura returned to the mansion. This is really tiring. After sitting down, Datura stretched his neck. Thank you for your hard work for Nianxiao, Yu Qing said. Mother, Nianxiao is our only sister. Naturally, she has to marry grandly, Datura said. Marrying Night Sorrow is really hard on you. You only managed to stabilize for a short period of time, and now he's running off to cultivate. I really can't do anything about him. Yu Qing was somewhat helpless, but also felt some heartache for her son. Night Sorrow is working hard for the stability of the family. In this world where the strong are respected, strength is the only guarantee. Datura said. This path is very difficult. Unless one can reach the peak and laugh proudly in the world, it won't be easy to be stable. Lin Piaomiao said. Sister-in-law, I heard that my brother is at the peak of the middle-class emperor rank and can enter the peak emperor rank at any time. Then he can rest for a while, right? Yi Nianxiao asked. Peak emperor rank isn't the highest rank for cultivators. However, he probably doesn't need to go into seclusion so frequently. Lin Piaomiao shook her head. Luckily, Star Moon City was built quickly. Otherwise, we really wouldn't be able to receive guests. The second batch of VIP buildings can be used soon. This way, our Night Moon Empire's elders will have a place to rest. Also, Nianxiao's grandfather's family hasn't responded yet. They won't not come, right? Are we lacking in manners? Datura changed the topic. When mentioning Night Sorrow's hardships, everyone felt heartache. Now, it was a joyous day. They will come later. They already told me. Yu Qing smiled and said. In these years, the Night Moon Empire had risen, and North Yu City had developed well. There were still 3 days before the wedding. King Yawu and Great Elder came, and even brought gifts from the Empyrean Desolation City Lord. Piao Miao, where is Night Sorrow? King Yawu, who lived in the Night Moon Villa of the Ethereal Empire, didn't find Night Sorrow, so he asked Lin Piao Miao. He went into seclusion after returning from the Empyrean Desolation City. He hasn't come out since. I hope Martial Uncle and Grand Elder doesn't mind. Lin Piao Miao smiled and said. I don't mind. Let's not talk about this guy's original body cultivating. Even his doppelganger is working so hard. What is he researching? The Grand Elder didn't understand. He is planning to fuse the life and death attributes. With an additional attribute, he will have to put in more effort to improve the momentum of heaven and earth. Lin Piao Miao said. He is cultivating something more advanced. However, no matter how anxious he is, 2 months won't make a difference. The Grand Elder shook his head. Night Sorrow's time acceleration treasure is a heavenly artifact. It also has an artifact spirit. It can accelerate time by 50 times. He has been cultivating in the time acceleration for more than 10 years. There should be some effect. Lin Piao Miao explained for Night Sorrow. This guy is really good. You guys go ahead. Don't worry about us. The Grand Elder waved his hand. King Yawu also smiled. There are only 3 days left. If he doesn't come out, I wonder if he will have any effect. Destruction and space-time attributes. Night Sorrow's achievements are already very high. If he has the limitless attribute in his hands, his reincarnation attribute will easily have great achievements. The Grand Elder thought for a moment and said. Not just the reincarnation attribute. He also has the void attribute. He can study the primal attribute. However, he was attacked by the Nirvana flame, so he grasped the reincarnation attribute first. The other direction might be more suitable for him. King Yawu corrected the Grand Elder's words. Seeing that the day had arrived, Lin Piao Miao arrived at the 9-domain world and shouted outside the Heaven Sealing Hall. Night Sorrow's 9-domain doppelganger in the Heaven Sealing Hall opened his eyes. He was either in deep seclusion or in deduction. Therefore, he was aware of the situation. Flashing out of the Heaven Sealing Hall, Night Sorrow smiled at Lin Piao Miao. It's almost time. The day after tomorrow. Martial Uncle, Grand Elder, Golden Dragon King, and Old Ancestor Green Rock have all appeared. It's not appropriate for you to not appear. Lin Piao Miao said. Alright, the research is almost done. Next, it's time for my original body to fuse. This seclusion ended just in time. Night Sorrow took out a jar of wine and took a big gulp. You finished researching? Lin Piao Miao looked at Night Sorrow in surprise. The deduction results are fine. I'll know when my original body fuses later. You can go ahead and do your work. My doppelganger in the Night Moon Villa has come out. Night Sorrow said to Lin Piao Miao. Chapter 1985. After Night Sorrow's clone in Night Moon Mountain Villa came out of seclusion, he washed up, changed into a clean robe, and went to the guest room in Star Moon Mountain Villa. King Yawu, Grand Elder, Golden Dragon King, Green Rock Old Ancestor, and Chirue were all in Night Moon Mountain Villa's guest room. They didn't like to socialize, so the mountain villa was relatively quiet. Seniors, thank you for taking the time out of your busy schedules to come to Night Sorrow's little brother and sister's wedding. Please don't mind it, said Night Sorrow. King Yawu and Grand Elder nodded. Night Sorrow, Long Jean is the young master of our Golden Dragon clan, but the wedding was arranged by your family. This king is very grateful. If there's anything in the future, just let Long Jean talk to me. The Golden Dragon King looked at Night Sorrow and expressed his attitude. Lord Golden Dragon King, you're too polite. Long Jean and I are brothers. It's not a big deal to arrange his wedding, said Night Sorrow. It's the same for me. Tianyu has been with you since he was young, and you took care of him. In less than 1,000 years, he has achieved so much. The Green Rock clan will remember this in our hearts. We will be eternal allies with the 9-domain world. Green Rock Old Ancestor also expressed his attitude. How should I address him? Night Sorrow looked at King Yawu and asked. Just call him Old Rock. Old Rock's attainments in space and time are very deep. If you have time, ask him for advice. King Yawu said. I understand. Old Rock is too serious. I don't have any blood brothers, but Tianyu and Long Jean are no different from my blood brothers. I'm very happy to arrange their wedding. Night Sorrow cupped his hands at Green Rock Old Ancestor. Night Sorrow and Green Rock Old Ancestor didn't mention Guan Yu's Heaven's Cliff because it wasn't a big deal now. Then Night Sorrow bowed to Chirue. Haha. You don't have to be so courteous with me. Lin Yu calls you big brother, so I'm considered your uncle. You have to come. Otherwise, when you go back, you won't be able to keep your beard and it will be pulled out. Chirue said with a smile. Everyone was chatting casually. No one was bickering or putting on airs. Night Sorrow, you've been in seclusion all this time. How's the research on Wuji's attribute going? The Grand Elder brought up a topic he was more concerned about. My doppelganger has been deducing all this time. My main body has just begun to fuse with it. As for whether it will succeed or not, it's still unknown, Night Sorrow said. Don't worry. If it doesn't work, we'll just find the reason and get rid of it, King Yawu said. I understand. Don't worry, Martial Uncle. Night Sorrow nodded. The Xian Luan clan is here as well. Don't take what happened last time to heart. Harmony is very important. To be honest, no one would dare to bully you now, said King Yawu. I understand. I'll pay them a visit later. Night Sorrow knew what King Yawu meant. He hoped that he would be able to form more good karma. Just as they were talking, Night Sorrow stood up and excused himself. Then, he left the guest room and rushed towards the entrance of Night Moon Villa. His face was full of surprise. Because he saw Wu Lingfei. Wu Lingfei was wearing a white silk dress with golden hair accessories on her head. Aunt Fei. Night Sorrow bowed when he saw Wu Lingfei. Night Sorrow, what are you doing? Wu Lingfei reached out and helped Night Sorrow up. Seniors, please come in. Night Sorrow cupped his hands to the women behind Wu Lingfei. He knew that they were the experts of the Ice Phoenix clan. Thank you, Region Lord Knight. The experts of the Ice Phoenix clan cupped their hands to Night Sorrow in return. Night Sorrow brought them to the loft where he was resting. Aunt Fei, the guest rooms are full now. This is Night Sorrow's usual resting place. Aunt Fei and the others, please don't mind. Night Sorrow, why are you so distant from Aunt Fei? Wu Lingfei looked at Night Sorrow and asked. No, it's just that Aunt Fei is the Empress of the Ice Phoenix clan now. I can't neglect her. Also, please forgive me. When Aunt Fei ascended the throne, Night Sorrow was in the reincarnation battlefield. Night Sorrow said. When Aunt Fei ascended the throne, the Humanitarian League and the Yi clan went. Aunt Fei was very happy. Later, when she heard that something happened to you, Aunt Fei was very sad. She returned to the 9 regions world once, but she didn't see you. Wu Lingfei turned her head and wiped the corners of her eyes. Aunt Fei, don't you think I'm fine now? Night Sorrow said with a smile. He knew that when he was unconscious, the operation of the Emperor-grade teleportation array was limited. However, it didn't affect Wu Lingfei because he was familiar with her aura, even if her cultivation was higher than his at the time. Yes, I'm very good. The child with core condensation cultivation back then is now an emperor, and a human emperor at that. Wu Lingfei's words were a little emotional. Thank you for your guidance and care along the way, Auntie Fei. Oh right, the gift for Auntie Fei. I originally planned to forge a long sword with human merit, but that Pu Luo directly forged it into a golden brick. Auntie Fei can just play with it. Thinking about the gift, Yi Shang felt embarrassed. Human Dao golden brick is very famous now. Aunt Fei wants to join the Humanitarian League. Is there a problem? Wu Lingfei said with a smile. If the Ice Phoenix clan has no problem, I naturally have no problem. The other elders of the Humanitarian League also welcome Aunt Fei. Night Sorrow said. Third elder, is there a problem with this seat joining the Humanitarian League? Wu Lingfei turned around and looked at one of the white-haired women who had been standing there. Lord Golden Phoenix, there is no problem with doing anything. As long as there is no threat to your safety, the elders will not ask. The Humanitarian League upholds the principle of punishing evil and promoting good. It is a force worthy of respect. The white-haired woman said. Then it's fine. Wu Lingfei nodded. After arranging for the elders of the Ice Phoenix clan to rest, Night Sorrow took Wu Lingfei to the Twilight Tea House. This time, Night Sorrow didn't sit in the Moon Pavilion. Instead, he chose the Snow Pavilion in the Wind, Flower, Snow, and Moon Pavilion. Permanent 6Z free, Phi CJ little underscore say after the tea was brewed, Night Sorrow poured a cup for Wu Lingfei. Aunt Fei, I see that your relationship with the elders is not very good. Did you have a bad time in the Ice Phoenix clan? Night Sorrow asked. That year, something happened to you. I wanted to return to the 9 regions world, but they didn't agree. I hate them. Wu Lingfei said. Aunt Fei, they did it for your own good. I'm fine now, so don't mind them. Night Sorrow said. They shouldn't have forced their will on me. Mother only passed down the throne. I haven't seen her in all these years. Wu Lingfei explained her situation. At this time, in the Night Moon Villa, the women of the Ice Phoenix clan were chatting. Whether Lord Imperial Concubine's attitude can change depends on this trip. Back then, we were a bit reckless and didn't care about her feelings. Fortunately, Night Sorrow woke up. Otherwise, the problem would be very troublesome. The woman called Third Elder by Wu Lingfei said. Chapter 1986. That's right. If something really happened to Night Sorrow, the relationship between Imperial Concubine and our Elder Guild would be irreconcilable. Fortunately, the situation isn't too bad. The Third Elder heaved a sigh of relief when he saw the harmonious relationship between Wu Lingfei and Night Sorrow. After Night Sorrow and Wu Lingfei drank tea, they returned to the Night Moon Villa. Concubine Wu Lingfei brought several elders from the Council of Elders to visit King Yewu and the others. Yi Shang also went to visit the guests who had come to attend the wedding. King Yewu and the others were very polite when they saw Wu Lingfei. In the eyes of the world, the Ice Phoenix clan wasn't as famous as the Blood Scale clan or as domineering as the dragons. However, their strength was indeed shocking because there were many experts in the Ice Phoenix clan. After exchanging a few words, Wu Lingfei left after having a few elders accompany King Yewu and the others. She was going to Star Moon City, where there were people she cared about and people who cared about her. For example, the God-slaying squad was currently in Star Moon City. Firstly, the wedding would be held in Star Moon City. Secondly, the God-slaying squad would be in Star Moon City to maintain order. King Yewu, Grand Elder, please help me persuade Imperial Concubine. Because of Night Sorrow, Imperial Concubine is now dissatisfied with our Elder Guild, the Ice Phoenix clan's Third Elder said. Why do you say that, Elder Yu? The Grand Elder asked, puzzled. The Ice Phoenix clan's Third Elder's name was Huang Yu. When something happened to Night Sorrow, Imperial Concubine received the news and was about to leave the Ice Phoenix clan. At that time, it was a crucial period for her cultivation. The Elder Guild didn't agree and sent her to the clan to cultivate. After that, she didn't take the initiative to communicate with us and caused a rift between us. Huang Yu explained the cause of the matter. That's what you should do. She was born in the Nine Regions world and has a very good relationship with Night Sorrow. They are closer than family. Do you know that she was poisoned by the evil dragon flame and that Night Sorrow didn't put in a lot of effort? You should always consider the feelings of others. The Grand Elder glanced at Huang Yu. Although he was a little angry, the Grand Elder still agreed to Huang Yu's request. Jun Xuanji and Zhu Jiuyun also returned to Star Moon City. Their relationship with Yi Nianxiao was very good. So they naturally had to attend Yi Nianxiao's wedding. Night Sorrow was very busy. There were too many guests. He had to meet those he knew and those he didn't know. At the border of Nirvana Ocean, Mo Tianji came out of seclusion in a canyon that was on the same line as Heaven Desolate City. Peak Emperor rank. After 700 years of recuperation and seclusion, Mo Tianji stepped into Peak Emperor rank. After coming out of seclusion, Mo Tianji went to see Long Zhe. Have the Black Dragon spies in the human race found any news? Did you manage to infiltrate Star Moon City? They didn't infiltrate Star Moon City. The teleportation array to Star Moon City is heavily guarded. If they aren't familiar with it, they won't be able to teleport. However, the woman that Heavenly Concubine is looking for has appeared. She is currently in Star Moon City. Long Zhe said. Then we won't wait any longer. Organize the information and make preparations to attack Star Moon City. Mo Tianji clenched her fists tightly, producing cracking sounds. We can't. Many experts have gathered in Star Moon City. According to our spies, Divine Capital City's King Yawu, Heaven Desolate City's Grand Elder, Green Rock Old Ancestor, Golden Dragon King, and Blood Qilin King are all in Ethereal Empire's territory. Attacking them now is suicide. Long Zhe shook his head and said. Currently, black dragons couldn't walk in front of others. However, black dragons still had some human subordinates. Therefore, they could still scout for information. Mo Tianji looked at Long Zhe, her eyes gleaming. Why? What are those old fellows doing in Ethereal Empire's territory? Night Sorrow's younger sister is holding a wedding in Star Moon City. Therefore, we can't make a move recently. Long Zhe said. Then wait. Pay close attention to that woman. She can't disappear from our sight. It's very important. We can't make any mistakes. Mo Tianji instructed. Translator, Endless Fantasy Translation Editor, Endless Fantasy Translation. Long Zhe nodded. We're still monitoring her closely. Are those stubborn old fellows willing to work for our Demon Wing clan now? Mo Tianji looked at the other side of the canyon. No. My father has tried to persuade them many times. Long Zhe said. Your father still doesn't want to kill them? Mo Tianji asked with a frown. Yes. There's no room for discussion. Lord Heavenly Concubine, it's best that you don't tell my father about this. Long Zhe nodded. Mo Tianji snorted coldly, but didn't continue the topic. She knew that because of certain matters, a portion of the Black Dragon race was willing to work for the Demon Wing race because of their bloodline. However, it was impossible for them to slaughter their own race and elders. Night Sorrow picked up his grandpa, grandma, and the others. While he was talking to his grandpa and uncle, he was actually listening to the bragging of the Yu family. At that moment, Pu Luo arrived. After excusing himself from his grandpa and grandma, Night Sorrow and Pu Luo went outside. Alliance Master, we caught a spy. He blew himself up before we could get anything out of him. This matter should be related to the Black Dragons. Pu Luo said. After lying dormant for so many years, it's probably time for them to make a move. There can't be only one spy. Mo Tianji can still bribe some spies over the years. The Black Dragons have been in the celestial realm for countless years. It's normal for them to have some subordinate forces of other clans. If they want to get information, they can do it. Night Sorrow said. Then what do we need to do now? Pu Luo asked. We can't stop them from infiltrating the Ethereal Dynasty. However, Star Moon City can. After all, the teleportation formation to Star Moon City can't be used by people of unknown origins. They can only approach from the outside. The defensive formation is also real. Therefore, the Ethereal Dynasty is still the main defense. Night Sorrow thought for a while and said, "Okay. The experts of our forces are already hiding in the Ethereal Dynasty. If they dare to fight, then they can forget about returning." Pu Luo nodded. He had only come to inform Night Sorrow. As for the deployment, they had already made the necessary arrangements. "Pu Luo, thank you for your hard work. Drink a few more cups." Night Sorrow nodded to Pu Luo. Night Sorrow returned to the Night Moon Villa. He planned to ask the Grand Elder and the others if they had any information about the Black Dragon subordinate forces. If they did, he planned to make a move against Imo Tianji and the Black Dragons after Yi Nianxiao and the others' wedding. Because his main body and avatar had both gone to the reincarnation battlefield, he wouldn't be able to rest assured if he wasn't in Star Moon City for a period of time. After arriving at the Night Moon Villa's VIP building, Night Sorrow discovered that King Yanwu and the others were talking with Wu Lingfei. The Ice Phoenix clan's elders weren't present. "Night Sorrow, take a seat." The Grand Elder pointed to a seat for Night Sorrow. King Yanwu nodded to Wu Lingfei. "This seat is acquainted with your parents. Our relationship isn't bad. Therefore, I'll say a few more words today. Look at how others treat you. The main thing is the starting point. If the starting point isn't bad, then some things can be forgiven." Chapter 1987. "It's nothing, just some small friction," Wu Lingfei said. "Lie to me? That Elder Qin of the Ice Phoenix clan promised me when he came last time. He said that he wouldn't let you suffer any grievances. What is this now?" Night Sorrow stood up and walked towards the loft where he used to live. "Night Sorrow, sit down first and listen to me." The Grand Elder stood up and stopped Night Sorrow. Then the Grand Elder told him about the conflict between Wu Lingfei and the Elders Guild. "Night Sorrow, they just want the Ice Phoenix clan leader to achieve more quickly. They don't have any ill intentions," Chirue said. Night Sorrow understands. "I can endure it this time, but I have something to tell them. Breaking a promise once is enough, but don't blame me for being hostile next time." Night Sorrow got up and went to the loft where he was resting. Several elders of the Ice Phoenix clan were there. Region Lord Knight, King Yowu and the Grand Elder are here. Seeing them, the Ice Phoenix clan's third elder Huang Yu and the other elders cupped their hands. Night Sorrow didn't return the greeting. This time, the Ice Phoenix clan came because my Yi family is going to hold a wedding. I, Night Sorrow, will accept your kind intentions. But when Elder Qin of your Ice Phoenix clan came to pick her up, he promised me that he wouldn't let my Aunt Faye suffer any grievances. In the end, you restricted her freedom? Locked her in the ancestral land? I think Region Lord Knight has misunderstood." Huang Yu's expression changed. "We all know whether it's a misunderstanding or not. You don't have to explain it to me. A promise should be valued by a righteous cultivator. This time, I will not pursue it for the sake of the seniors and my Aunt Faye's feelings. If such a thing happens again, with me, Night Sorrow, here, things won't end well. Your Ice Phoenix clan has a long history and is powerful, but you can also try to see if I, Night Sorrow, can fight to the end." He waved his hand and smashed a table, then turned and left. "Elder Huang Yu, don't make things difficult for us. You're already lacking in this matter. Remember, promises are not meant to be broken." Chi Rui, who was originally very amiable, also changed his attitude. King Yowu and the Grand Elder did not leave. The two of them sat down. "Lord King Yowu, you see? Domain Lord Ye's attitude is a little too domineering," an Ice Phoenix clan elder said. "He's a bit domineering. Perhaps. However, I, as your martial uncle, support your domineering attitude. Originally, I had a few words to say, but it seems like I won't be able to speak with you. I will speak after meeting your old patriarch and the heavenly astral king. King Yawu, who had been sitting down, shook his head and stood up to leave. This made Huang Yu and the others' expressions turn ugly because this meant that the true experts who had come were all on Night Sorrow's side. Look at the main F version of the chapter top K. 8. The Ice Phoenix clan belonged to the matriarchal Divine Beast clan. Generally, a woman would be the Ice Phoenix clan's empress, and her husband would be the Ice Phoenix clan's king. The previous Ice Phoenix clan's empress was Wu Lingfei's mother, who was titled Spirit Empress. Her father was the Ice Phoenix clan's expert, the Heavenly Astral King. Currently, Wu Lingfei's title was Empress. Night Sorrow knew your new empress when he was in the core condensation stage. Along the way, they were closer than family. Therefore, in terms of concept, you have underestimated Night Sorrow's importance to this relationship. Night Sorrow is the Alliance Master of the Humanitarian League, the Human Emperor of the Human Clan, and the Human Emperor of the 100 Races Alliance. Therefore, no one will say that Night Sorrow is in the wrong in this conflict. How to resolve the conflict is up to you. If things get ugly, it won't be good for anyone. The main thing is that you will lose your trust and righteousness. The Grand Elder left 2 words of advice and left. Huang Yu was dumbfounded. She didn't think it was a big deal, but now that things had gotten out of hand, it was hard to say how it would end. Third Elder, how should we deal with this matter? An elder asked. I can't deal with this matter. We have to wait for the Grand Elder to return from the stellar sky space. Originally, I thought that after we decided to lock Empress Fei in the ancestral land, we would apologize to Empress Fei. It seems that things aren't that simple, Huang Yu said. The Ice Phoenix clan's matter wasn't so complicated. It was Wu Lingfei's mother who had been in seclusion and hadn't come out. The order to bring Wu Lingfei back was given by a soul incarnation. After bringing Wu Lingfei back, the Grand Elder, Huang Qin, went to the stellar sky space where the stellar sky king was. Because there were restrictions on entering and exiting the stellar sky space, Huang Yu hadn't returned yet. The Ice Phoenix clan's matters were decided by the Elder Council. Wu Lingfei wanted to go to the 9 regions world, but the Elder Council didn't agree and locked her in the ancestral land to cultivate. This matter has left a grudge in Empress Fei's heart, and it's very serious. She doesn't want to talk to us now, another elder said. Let's wait for the wedding to be over. After we return to the clan, we will discuss how to solve this problem. Huang Yu sighed. She thought that this matter would be resolved after talking to King Yawu, the Grand Elder, and the others. Now, she understood that this matter was very serious. Wu Lingfei was originally easy to talk to. She was very amiable in the Ice Phoenix clan. However, the matter involving Night Sorrow made her explode. Since then, Wu Lingfei didn't communicate with others. Night Sorrow's attitude was even more radical. He didn't even hesitate to turn hostile. After leaving the loft where the Ice Phoenix clan's elders were resting, Night Sorrow was still angry. After arriving at the VIP building, Night Sorrow sat beside Wu Lingfei. Aunt Fei, you won't go back this time. If they want you to go back, then they will come and take you back. They didn't dare to do it last time, but they dare to do it this time. Okay, Aunt Fei will listen to you. Aunt Fei was born in the 9 regions world. The 9 regions world is Aunt Fei's home. You are Aunt Fei's relative. If they want to interfere, Aunt Fei won't give in, Wu Lingfei said. This matter needs to be resolved, but we can't be too radical, the Grand Elder reminded Night Sorrow. Senior Uncle, Grand Elder, this time, my avatar won't go to the reincarnation battlefield. When the God-slaying team arrives, my original body will stop cultivating and come out to lead the team, Night Sorrow stated his decision. The Ice Phoenix clan's matter isn't that complicated. The Heavenly Astral King and the previous clan leader are reasonable people. So, when they appear, the problem will be resolved. If your original body comes out, it will delay your cultivation progress, the Grand Elder said. It's not just the Ice Phoenix clan's matter. The Humanitarian League caught a spy. It should be Mo and the Black Dragons who are about to take action. At this time, my original body and combat avatar aren't in the Ethereal Dynasty and Starmoon City. Night Sorrow feels uneasy. Night Sorrow stated another reason for his decision. Caught a spy? Did you get any information? King Yawu asked. There isn't much specific information. They self-destructed, but in their storage rings, we found a crystal ball with Guanyu Jun Xuanji's image. The person who cares about Jun Xuanji is Mo Tianji. Night Sorrow told King Yawu and the others about the Humanitarian League's arrival. Chapter 1988. How about this? Your doppelganger and the god-slaying squad don't move first. Wait until you're done here before going over. You can go over by yourself anyway. Once you're done, you can go over with the god-slaying squad, King Yawu said. That's fine too. I'll go over after they attack. Night Sorrow nodded. This arrangement was reasonable. The Black Dragons have 2 Black Dragon Kings and several elders. If Mo Tianji leads them to attack, you won't have enough people on your side. You have to be careful, the Grand Elder said. The Black Dragons are the dragon's problem. I have to take responsibility. I don't have anything else to do, so I'll stay here with you, Night Sorrow, the Golden Dragon King said. Senior Golden Dragon King, there are some things that you don't have to shoulder. The Black Dragon's problem involves their bloodline. It's not anyone's fault that they're in this situation, Night Sorrow said. He saw that the Golden Dragon King was a little dispirited and depressed. Perhaps you're right. As long as they dare to fight, this king can only kill them. The Golden Dragon King nodded at Night Sorrow. You're not enough by yourself. I'll accompany you. Chirue reached out and patted the Golden Dragon King's shoulder. X plus X plus X plus X, old friend, this king won't be polite. Let's fight side by side. The Golden Dragon King nodded at Chirue. Then, without caring about the attitude of the Ice Phoenix Elders, Night Sorrow brought Wu Lingfei to Starmoon City. Wu Lingfei had a good relationship with the Yi family. Her arrival added a lot of joy to the Yi family. The Grand Elder sent people to mobilize the Heaven Wasteland Army and secretly set up camp in the Ethereal Imperial City. Then, he appeased the elders of the Ice Phoenix race. He didn't want to give them face, but he still had to give them a way out. After one night, the wedding officially began. The host was the Grand Elder. It could be said that this wedding was of the highest standard in the celestial realm. The elders of the 2 newlyweds were in the same area. There was only an empty space between them. Night Sorrow held his 2 sisters' hands and handed them over to Longjin and Tianyu. He didn't say anything and only patted their shoulders. The newlyweds bowed to heaven and earth, to their parents, to each other, and then to the offering of tea. To Night Sorrow's surprise, after the 2 couples offered tea to their respective elders, they solemnly brought their teacups to him. That's not appropriate. I can't afford it, Night Sorrow said. You are worthy of being the captain. With a brother like you, Longjin feels at ease, Longjin said. Brother, because of the dragon language, you were misunderstood and exiled to Heaven Wasteland. You suffered a lot, but you didn't explain and didn't complain at all. Your attitude towards the dragon language has always been the same, so brother must drink this cup of tea. The dragon language said seriously. Good. As long as you 2 are well, I will be happy. Remember, no matter what racial grudges you have, as long as there is love in your heart, you will be happy. Night Sorrow took the tea and drank it in one gulp. Brother Shirsan, this tea for me and Nianxiao, we don't need to say anything else, right? Tianyu took the teacup from Night Sorrow. After drinking the tea, the formal ceremony of the wedding came to an end. Then came the banquet. Night Sorrow couldn't be absent from the reception, because many people came for Night Sorrow. They all came because of Night Sorrow. 4 people like Kirin, the Golden Dragon King, and the people from the Humanitarian League, the others couldn't receive them. The banquet lasted for a long time, but Star Moon City was well prepared. Wine was constantly served. As long as it was drinkable, there would be wine. In the evening, the banquet finally ended. Night Sorrow sent the two couples to the bridal chamber in Ethereal Imperial City and brought the guests to stay in Ethereal Imperial City. Long Jin and Tianyu's wedding came to an end. King Yenwu and the others also had to leave. He told Night Sorrow to open the defensive formation of Night Moon Manor. This way, the Golden Dragon King and Blood Qilin King would be in Night Moon Manor. Even if the Devil-Winged Race and the Black Dragons investigated, they wouldn't be able to find anything. As the guests were sent off, Star Moon City and Night Moon Manor slowly quieted down. Long Jin, Dragon Language, Tianyu, and Yin Yanxiao met up with the God-slaying squad and continued to cultivate in Star Moon City. After the guests left, the elders of the Ice Phoenix race felt uneasy. After the wedding, they didn't see Wu Lingfei, let alone her return to the Ice Phoenix race. Helpless, they found Night Sorrow, who was cultivating his spear arts. Region Lord Knight, this celebration is over. We can't stay here forever. We have to go back, but we haven't seen Lord Imperial Concubine in the past 2 days, Huang Yu said. It's like this. My aunt Concubine hasn't come back for a long time. She's with my mother and my wife. She's been cultivating for the past few hundred years. She's very tired and needs to rest. Also, I'm very dissatisfied with some things. You all know this. I won't make things difficult for anyone, but whoever comes to take my aunt Concubine away must have an explanation, Night Sorrow said as he put away the Blood Qilin evil punishing spear. This. Huang Yu was a bit dumbfounded. She understood the situation now. Night Sorrow didn't want to let her go back with them. It was impossible for them to take her away by force. You don't have to make things difficult. Lord Imperial Concubine and Lord Heavenly Astral King are about to come out of seclusion. It won't be a problem for any of them to come. If they're dissatisfied, you can push it to me, Night Sorrow said. Elder Huang Yu, let's do as Night Sorrow said. The matter will be resolved peacefully, Qilin said. All right. Lord Imperial Concubine is here. I'll have to trouble Region Lord Knight. Huang Yu knew that they couldn't take Wu Ling Concubine away. After the people of the Ice Phoenix clan left, Yi Shan cultivated every day. Half a month passed. On this day, Night Sorrow, who was cultivating his spear arts, suddenly stopped. Then, his face was full of smiles. After the two doppelgangers deduced the theory of the fusion of the life and death attributes for more than 10 years, his main body had also succeeded in the fusion. The successful fusion of the life and death attributes meant that Night Sorrow only had 4 attributes left. After fusing 2, he didn't have to be too distracted when cultivating. It could be said that his future cultivation path would be much easier. His actual combat strength would also increase by a lot. What made you so happy? The Golden Dragon King and Blood Qilin King saw Night Sorrow's excited state and walked out of their resting loft. Lord Golden Dragon King, I've made a small achievement in the fusion of attributes, Night Sorrow said with a smile. Fusion of attributes? Show it to me. This king wants to see it. The Golden Dragon King was very interested. Nodding, Night Sorrow casually threw out a punch. When this punch was thrown out, the wind from the punch changed between green and yellow. That was the effect of the limitless attribute. Chapter 1989. A high-level combination of opposing attributes. Very good. Very impressive. You've already successfully fused time and space. Now that you've fused life and death, you've taken another huge step on the heaven-defying path of cultivation, the Golden Dragon King said to Yi Shan. Night Sorrow, you have the reincarnation attribute. This is not a secret to some people. The reincarnation attribute is very complicated. It is said to be destruction, time, space, life, and death. Simply put, it is destruction, time, and infinity. Even more simply, reincarnation is reincarnation. Do you understand what that means? Blood Kirin King said to Night Sorrow. Night Sorrow froze for a moment, but then he understood what Blood Kirin King meant. All attributes had to be combined. If the taboo attribute was separated, it would be 5 attributes. If it was combined, it would be 1 attribute. It is very difficult to cultivate a taboo attribute. First, you must have a pure supreme attribute as a foundation. That excludes too many people. In the last reincarnation of the celestial realm, there was only 1 human king. This reincarnation also has 1 human king. It is destiny and order. You are from the 9-zone world, so you have broken this rule. Take it slow. You can do it, the Golden Dragon King said. Both of you are esteemed seniors. I have some questions that I would like to ask, Ishan said as he looked at the Golden Dragon King and the Blood Qilin King. Haha. Kirin King owes you a favor. You and my nephew are brothers. We will not be stingy with what we can tell you. The Golden Dragon King smiled. After cultivating the reincarnation attribute, can you cultivate the beginning attribute? Will the 2 taboo attributes clash? Night Sorrow asked the question that had been bothering him. We have never touched the taboo attribute. Normally, there should not be a clash. Life and death are opposites. Didn't you cultivate them and combine them? But this is just speculation. No one has ever cultivated them, so we cannot be sure. If you want to cultivate them, you have to be careful. The Golden Dragon King said. Thank you, I understand. Night Sorrow nodded. For your path, others can only give you some suggestions. As for guidance, no one can give you any pointers. Chirue patted Night Sorrow's shoulder. Night Sorrow was walking a path that no one had ever walked before. There was nothing to learn from, and no one had any experience in this area. After talking to the 2 of them, Night Sorrow began to study the newbie's infinity attribute. After Night Sorrow fused the death and life attributes, his control over the worldly momentum was at 30%. The worldly momentum of the death attribute decreased while the worldly momentum of the life attribute increased. This was the result of the fusion. While Night Sorrow was studying Wuji's attributes, the Humanitarian League's people were still setting up defenses. Even if they discovered the spies, they just stared at them and did not make a move. Mo Tianji kept receiving information from the subordinate forces of the Black Dragons. In addition, Mo Tianji also counted the members of the Black Dragons who could participate in the battle. Currently, the Black Dragons had 3 Emperor's Tribulation Cultivators, 4 Emperor's Tribulation Cultivators, and a few more Emperor's Tribulation Cultivators. There were more King-level Black Dragons. Originally, the Black Dragons were stronger, but some elders were unwilling to become enemies with the 100 races of the Celestial Realm, let alone work for the Demon-Winged race. They would rather die than be willing. Long Zhe, get ready. We will attack and take down the 9 domain worlds in one go. This way, both the Black Dragons and I will have a safe place. When the demon-winged race of Tianhuang invades, we will work together to overthrow the celestial realm. Mo Tianji said. Translator, Endless Fantasy Translation Editor, Endless Fantasy Translation T on section are, okay, but remember what you promised us. After this is over, you have to give us the Black Dragons. Long Zhe said. Mo Tianji nodded. There were some things she did not say to Long Zhe. In terms of experience, a few Long Zhes were not as good as her. After some analysis, she realized that the 9 domain worlds might be the new sovereign worlds of the celestial realm after the origin of the celestial realm fell. This made Mo Tianji pay more attention to the attack on Xingyue City. Once they invaded and took over the 9 domain worlds, the 100 races of the celestial realm would be in a passive position. By the time the 100 races of the celestial realm reacted, it would be too late. Long Zhe left Mo Tianji's side and went deep into the canyon. He wanted to talk to his father about the situation. Long Zhe's father, Long Tianyuan, was the previous leader of the Black Dragons. However, he was injured during the attack on Tianhuang City. In order to recover, he gave the position to Long Zhe. Seeing Long Zai arrive, Long Tianyuan set up a barrier. Long Zai, what do you want to say? This Mo Tianji will fall out with us sooner or later. You have to be careful. Long Tianyuan said. She is using us. She will never truly accept us. Long Zai knows this. We have already betrayed the 100 races of the celestial realm. Now, we only hope that grandmother and mother can come back safely. Also, are the 2 black dragon eggs still there? Long Zai said in a low voice. Long Tianyuan did not say anything. He was helpless about some things. At the beginning of this reincarnation, due to the impact of the previous reincarnation war, a portion of the demon-winged race remained in the celestial realm. Half of them went to the black dragons. They obtained the 2 dragon eggs from the previous reincarnation's Black Dragon King and used them to threaten the Black Dragon King. Back then, the Black Dragon King could only compromise for the continuation of his ancestors' bloodline. The result of compromise was intermarriage. Long Tianyuan's mother and wife were both women of the demon-winged race. Long Zai had more of the demon-winged race's bloodline because his grandmother and mother were both from the demon-winged race. Now, these 2 women of the demon-winged race were not with the black dragons. They had been hidden by the demon-winged race. Not only Long Tianyuan and Long Zai, but there were also many black dragons and demon-winged race who had intermarried. We are despicable. Only this king's father had the courage to self-destruct for the sake of the Black Dragon King's descendant in the previous reincarnation. However, we don't have the courage to do so. We have been working for the demon-winged race, causing the celestial realm to no longer accept us. Does she think that we don't know if Mo Tianji doesn't say anything? The 9 domains world is the new supreme world. She wants it, but so do we. As long as we fight our way in, we will fall out with her and kill her. Then, the demon-winged race and the 100 races of the celestial realm will have nothing to do with us. Long Tianyuan said. Long Zai nodded. He once thought that if he worked for the demon-winged race seriously, they would treat him as one of their own. However, Mo Tianji had never been courteous to him. She had completely treated the black dragons as tools. This made him very angry. Remember, protect those elders first. Although those elders are stubborn, it is not the time to kill them. They are good fighters. We need them. Once we take down the 9 domains world, we will kill them when they are of no value. Long Zai, remember this. We are not the black dragons or the demon-winged race. They all deserve to die. Long Tianyuan's face was filled with killing intent. Mo Tianji and Long Zai's deployment was still in progress. They were infiltrating the Misty Dynasty through spatial treasures. Chapter 1990. Mo Tianji and Long Zai had discussed that there were 2 ways to attack Star Moon City. The first was to attack Star Moon City directly. The second was to take down the Night Moon Manor first. There were many drawbacks to attacking Star Moon City directly. Star Moon City was surrounded by Star Moon Lake. It was unrealistic to attack silently. In a frontal attack, Star Moon City had a city protecting array. Lu Qi was also guarding the city. It was impossible to attack instantly. If they couldn't take down the city quickly, reinforcements would arrive through the teleportation array. If they wanted to cut off the reinforcements of Star Moon City, they would have to take down the Night Moon Manor and the Ethereal Imperial City. In addition, they could use the Night Moon Manor's teleportation array to reach the core of Star Moon City. If they broke the teleportation array, Star Moon City would be isolated. After analyzing the pros and cons, Mo Tianji and Long Zai decided to attack the Night Moon Manor directly. Through the spatial treasure brought by the Black Dragon spies, Mo Tianji and the Black Dragon's troops arrived at the Ethereal Imperial City. All the Black Dragon's members who could fight had already joined the battle. Long Zai even set up an Emperor-grade teleportation array in the Nirvana Ocean's Grand Canyon. He also set up an Emperor-grade teleportation array stronghold in a secret location outside the Ethereal Imperial City. Longzhe was very clear that if they succeeded in this war, Starmoon City would be completely sealed off by the Heaven Realm's 100 races. It would be impossible for them to come out openly. Hence, it was necessary to set up an Emperor-ranked teleportation array. When everyone gathered in the ethereal Imperial City, Mo Tianji, who had concealed her aura and set up a barrier, met with Longzhe in an inn. Of course, Long Tianyuan was also present. Elder Tianyuan, do you have any battle plans? Mo Tianji looked at Long Tianyuan and asked. She was very polite when speaking to Long Tianyuan because Long Tianyuan was a true expert. He was the strongest expert in this battle. First, cut off their reinforcements. Let Longya attack the teleportation array of the ethereal Imperial City. This way, their Emperor-grade teleportation array will be ineffective. The troops of Desolate Heaven City and Divine Capital City won't have enough time to arrive. Long Tianyuan said. Alright, break the teleportation formation. Then, we will attack Starmoon City with all our might. Clan leader Longza, is our backup teleportation formation ready? If they destroy Starmoon City's teleportation array, we will need to get close to Starmoon City immediately, Mo Tianji said. It's been arranged. Longzhe nodded. He had already made some arrangements for the battle. We'll attack tonight. Night Moon Mountain Villa's defensive formation. We need to break it as soon as possible. After saying that, Mo Tianji went to rest to prepare for tonight's battle. Mo Tianji's heart, which hadn't been moved for many years, was now greatly moved. This battle was too important to the Devil Wing clan and to her. The 9-domain world was the future supreme world. It had a lifespan of 1,000 reincarnations. Whoever could rule the 9-domain world would be able to control the future. In addition, Mo Tianji would be able to return to her peak state after obtaining the true body. At that time, she would have the chance to reach the supreme realm of cultivation after fusing with Jun Xuanji. She, Mo Tianji, was publicly recognized as a cultivator with endless potential in the Devil Wing clan. Her body had already cultivated Tao rhythm. After changing her clothes, Mo Tianji sat cross-legged with her palms together. She prayed to the Devil Wing clan's ancestor in her heart. At this time, Night Sorrow, who was cultivating his spear art, froze. This was because he felt the fluctuation of one of his soul imprints. $= when Night Sorrow walked towards the VIP building, the Golden Dragon Bay and Blood Qilin King also came to find Night Sorrow. Seniors, the other party is here. Night Sorrow said. It's not surprising that we know. How did you know? Qilin looked at Night Sorrow in surprise. I left 2 soul imprints on her body. She destroyed one of them. There's still 1 imprint left. Seniors, you can sense her. How can she not sense you? It's easy to ruin things like that. Night Sorrow said worriedly. Why did your martial uncle ask you to activate the defensive array? Because this array, which uses the ice dragon skeleton as the core, has an ice sealing effect. It can freeze some senses and auras. The aura within the array cannot be sensed from the outside, but we can sense it from the outside. The Golden Dragon King looked at the ice dragon skeleton and said. Senior Golden Dragon King, we had no choice but to use the ice dragon skeleton to set up the array. My uncle Shelia said that as long as we don't destroy the skeleton, it's not blasphemy. It can also let more people know about the existence of ice dragons. Night Sorrow explained to the Golden Dragon King. I understand. I also know what kind of person you are. I've talked with Shelia before. When this matter comes to an end, the ice dragons should return to the celestial realm to develop. The dragons also need to be reorganized. The Golden Dragon King said. Night Sorrow nodded. Then, the 3 of them discussed for a while. Then, the 3 of them called for the main personnel in the Night Moon Villa to make arrangements. The war was about to break out. Night Sorrow, what's your plan? Make the arrangements now. The Golden Dragon King said to Night Sorrow. Sister Xian Air, your doppelganger will guard the teleportation formation in the ethereal Imperial City. You can't let it be destroyed. If you can't guard it, you can take the Emperor-level teleportation crystal. You can't let it fall into the enemy's hands or be damaged. Night Sorrow said to Lin Piaomiao. Okay, no problem. Lin Piaomiao nodded. Pu Luo, you're the law enforcement elder of the Council of Elders. You can mobilize the Heaven Wasteland Army. Send your doppelganger to the Heaven Wasteland Army's encampment. Stay in the villa. When the battle starts, send your doppelganger to lead the 2 divisions of the Heaven Wasteland Army and quickly seal off the area. This time, kill all those who don't surrender their weapons. Night Sorrow said to Pu Luo. Don't worry, it will be done. Pu Luo nodded. Ah Luo, send your doppelganger to inform the Star Moon City. Tell all unrelated personnel to retreat and station there. If they attack from 2 directions, you and the 7 elders must protect the teleportation formation, including the backup teleportation formation. Night Sorrow said to Datura. Okay. Datura nodded. At this moment, Elder Lon of the Ethereal Imperial Court arrived at the Night Moon Villa. Lin Piaomiao had sent someone here alone to avoid alerting the spies. Elder Lon, inform the Ethereal Imperial Court's army to set up an encirclement outside the Ethereal Imperial City. After the war starts, no one can escape. Night Sorrow said to Elder Lon. Night Sorrow, what about the outside of the Star Moon City? If their main forces are there, they will be caught if they want to escape. Chirue said. Some of the Humanitarian League's armies are already stationed there. Night Sorrow said. I've heard that you're good at commanding battles. Looks like you live up to your reputation. Your plan is flawless. Chirue said with a smile. Night Sorrow shook his head. Senior, I'll give you a mission this time. Mo Tianji can't be allowed to live. Her existence is a great threat to the celestial realm. Okay. I'll take her down. Chirue nodded. Chapter 1991. Senior Golden Dragon King. After this calamity, there will be a new generation. The Black Dragons still have the dragon language. Perhaps there will be some members of the Black Dragons who are unwilling to wallow in the mire. If the Black Dragon's fate is not exhausted, there will still be a world for them in the future, Night Sorrow said. Since the virtuous Emperor has said so, then the Black Dragons may have a chance to live. However, this king is going to start a massacre today. A golden longsword appeared in the Golden Dragon King's hand. Old friend, why are you holding this? Isn't this a taboo? Chirue's expression changed when he saw the golden longsword in the Golden Dragon King's hand. The longsword in the Golden Dragon King's hand was very famous. It had existed in the Golden Dragon clan several reincarnations ago. The name of the sword was Dragon Slaying Sword, and it was specially made by an evil cultivator for Golden Dragon clan. That evil cultivator was killed by the Golden Dragon clan, but no one could deny the power of the Dragon Slaying Sword. The Dragon Slaying Sword had always been sealed on Dragon Island. Today, the Golden Dragon King took out the Dragon Slaying Sword, which showed his determination. As the Dragon King of all dragons, he was going to be ruthless and clean up the clan. Taboo. Yes. If there is blood, then it is either the dragons who rebelled or this king. The Black Dragons caused you to lose your virtuous body. You don't want to say anything, but this king can't turn a blind eye to it. Old friend, I am sorry. The Golden Dragon King looked at Chirue and said. Why are you here again? We have been friends for so many years. Is there a need to be so pretentious over such a small matter? Chirue patted the Golden Dragon King's shoulder. The Blood Chilan King Chirue and the Golden Dragon King Long Badian were best friends. The Blood Kylan was a virtuous and auspicious beast, and it was famous in the world. The Golden Dragon was the overlord of the divine beasts. Even though it didn't have any special heaven and earth luck, everyone knew that the Golden Dragon was naturally domineering, and it did things righteously. There was a saying that had been passed down for a long time: if one's body wasn't righteous, one wouldn't have golden scales. In other words, even if one was born in the Golden Dragon clan, if one had an evil heart, they would not grow golden scales. Let's fight side by side this time. The Golden Dragon King held the dragon-slaying sword in his right hand and patted Kiran's arm with his left. Badian, how many eras has it been since the last time we fought together? Chirue said with a smile. Don't mention it. Didn't that old brat Mo Yutian escape in the end? The Golden Dragon King chuckled. It can't be helped. That old man is really strong. Chirue said with a smile. The three greatest heavens of the demon-winged clan were peerless experts. In the celestial realm, only the lord of the city of Tianhuang, King Yawu, and the Grand Elder could fight against them. Others, even the patriarchs of the divine beasts, would not be able to do so. This was something that the patriarchs of the divine beasts also agreed with. G update D new R. The fastest tick L on C. And Knight Sorrow was thinking about some unstable factors in the war. From time to time, he would issue some orders for small details. Looking at Knight Sorrow's arrangements, the Golden Dragon King, Knight Sorrow, and Chirue all nodded. They felt that there was no need to add anything at all. They were only responsible for the battle. As for the arrangements and deployment, Knight Sorrow had made the appropriate arrangements. Senior Chirue, how is Ice Chilin now? After issuing the orders regarding the deployment, Knight Sorrow brewed a pot of tea. Very good. He has entered the pool of holy light to modify his bloodline. Because his soul is the blood Chilin's soul, there are no drawbacks in the modification of his bloodline. However, he should only be able to fully recover after entering the Emperor realm. Knight Sorrow, you have made up for my regret. This time, we will kill Mo Tianji first to avenge my son, Chirue said. Both sides were ready and waiting for the battle to begin. Mo Tianji planned to attack in the second half of the night. Although there was no difference between day and night for cultivators, most of them would be in a meditative state in the second half of the night. This would catch them off guard. Knight Sorrow and the others waited in the Night Moon Villa for Mo Tianji and the Black Dragons to attack. Knight Sorrow practiced his spear art. Chirue and Long Badian would sometimes give different opinions. This was very helpful to Knight Sorrow. Chirue and the Golden Dragon King's understanding of battle was incomparable to ordinary people. The moon was setting in the west. Mo Tianji waved her hand and opened the barrier of the inn. Long Zhe, bring your men out. The battle has begun. After speaking, Mo Tianji flew towards the Night Moon Villa. As she flew, her white hair fluttered in the air and whipped towards the defensive array of the Night Moon Villa. Long Zhe and Long Tianyuan also attacked. They appeared in their original bodies and charged towards the Night Moon Villa. They wanted to break through the defense of the Night Moon Villa and then take over the teleportation array. Suddenly, the great defensive array of the Night Moon Villa was shut down. Next, a claw covered in black scales appeared to grab Mo Tianji's 30,000 zhang long white hair. Then, the claw coiled around it before pulling it towards the ground. Fallen Sky Scale Claw. It was Chirue. He blocked the attack of Mo Tianji's white hair and controlled it. While Long Tianyuan and Long Zhe were in a daze, another attack came from the Night Moon Villa. A golden sword chi slashed towards Long Tianyuan. It was the Golden Dragon King. Lin Piaomiao started to attack Long Zhe. Long Zhe was a Tribulation 4 Emperor's cultivator. He was 2 tribulations higher than Lin Piaomiao. However, Lin Piaomiao was not afraid. She was still angry from the battle at the Blood Kirin Mountain. Dragon Slaying Sword. Long Badian, are you crazy? A huge dragon claw fell from the sky. It was Long Tianyuan's. The Golden Dragon King's domineering sword cut off Long Tianyuan's claw. He didn't understand the situation and tried to block the sword chi. It's not that I'm crazy, it's you guys who are crazy. Since you don't want to live a good life, then all of you can die today. Golden Dragon King Long Badian swung his dragon-slaying sword at Long Tianyuan. Black dragons, retreat. They have an ambush. Long Tianyuan knew he had fallen into a trap. He wasn't as strong as the Golden Dragon King. Plus, the Golden Dragon King had the dragon-slaying sword, which was specially used to deal with dragons. Mo Tianji and Chirui were also being beaten up. Chirui's left arm turned into a left front claw and wrapped around Mo Tianji's white hair. Then, he used his right fist aura and flames to attack Mo Tianji. Mo Tianji could only defend. Mo Tianji had an absolute advantage against Emperor rank cultivators. She wasn't even afraid of Emperor rank cultivators. She could crush them. However, she couldn't compare to Chirui. Chirui's cultivation realm was lower than hers, but his energy far exceeded hers. Chirui attacked Mo Tianji crazily. Night Sorrow didn't attack. He stood in front of the teleportation array and watched the battle. In just a few rounds, the Black Dragon's old chief Long Tianyuan was heavily injured by the Golden Dragon King. With the natural bloodline suppression and the Golden Dragon King's dragon-slaying sword, Long Tianyuan was far from being a match. A pair of black wings appeared on the heavily injured Long Tianyuan's back. He flapped his wings and wanted to escape. The opponent he didn't want to face the most was the Golden Dragon King. Demon Winged Race Bloodline. Then die. Dragon soars the 9 heavens. The Golden Dragon King's body flashed and he flew into the sky. Golden dragon images filled the sky. Then, a golden energy dragon claw pressed Long Tianyuan to the ground. Dragon slaying. Chapter 1992. After chopping off Long Tianyuan's head, the Golden Dragon King's dragon-slaying sword vibrated again and chopped off Long Tianyuan's head, not giving his soul power a chance to escape. Everything happened too quickly. Long Tianyuan didn't even have time to release his doppelganger, so both his original body and the doppelganger in his divine sea were killed. Long Zai's doppelganger blocked Lin Piaomiao. His main body had already started running. At this moment, he was scared out of his wits. The Golden Dragon King with the dragon-slaying sword was too scary. He had to run. If he continued fighting, he would die. Long Tianyuan died, Long Zai ran away, and Mo Tianji was controlled by Chi Rui to attack. The other black dragons didn't have much fighting spirit. The Golden Dragon King didn't hold back at all. He used his dragon-slaying golden sword and killed all the black dragons who resisted. With this king here, don't even think about turning the tables. Put down your weapons now and kneel. Otherwise, this king will kill you all. The Golden Dragon King killed Long Zai's doppelganger with sword chi. At this moment, the black dragons who didn't have much fighting spirit put down their weapons and knelt on the ground. They couldn't do anything under the attacks of the Golden Dragon King, Lin Piaomiao, Great Demon King, Yu Zhu, and the others. Pu Luo led the Heaven Wasteland army to surround this place. Pu Luo, help this king lock them all up. This king will take care of them in a bit. The Golden Dragon said to Pu Luo. Devil Wing clan dared to kill my son. Today, you will die. His left claw grabbed Mo Tianji's white hair while his right hand turned into a large energy hand and slapped towards Mo Tianji. Chi Rui, this momentary advantage is nothing. I will be back. Devil Flame sky burning, Devil Wings blood escape. Flames appeared on Mo Tianji's body. The white hair in Chirui's grasp started burning. Following that, the wings on her back glowed with a blood-red light. Her body floated backwards. She was planning to retreat. Her speed of retreat was much faster than when she fought Lu Qi. She was now a peak emperor rank. The energy and essence blood in her body were different from 700 years ago. Slash. Seeing Mo Tianji run, the Golden Dragon King released a beam of sword energy. This sword chi was extremely fast. It pierced through Mo Tianji's back and cut down, shattering her dantian. Boom! Red flames appeared on Mo Tianji's body. At this moment, Chi Rui's energy hand slapped towards Mo Tianji. Before Chi Rui's energy hand fell, a red light appeared and rushed forward. Soul extinguishing slash. Night Sorrow used soul extinguishing slash after discovering that the red light was a soul. The soul extinguishing slash slashed through the air and struck the red light, destroying a part of it. All of you deserve to die. Night Sorrow, you must die. Following Mo Tianji's roar, the red light tore through space and disappeared. The red light disappeared, and Mo Tianji's heavily injured body fell to the ground. Her eyes were gray because she had no soul. That red light was Mo Tianji's soul body that had used the burning of her essence blood to escape. She got away in the end. Night Sorrow sighed. Don't worry. Her soul has been forced out of her body continuously. Her soul body is already heavily injured. You destroyed a third of her soul just now. She won't be able to achieve anything in the future. She won't be able to reach her previous heights, the Golden Dragon King said. This king knows you. You are the degenerate dragons, Long Yang. Where is Long Tianxue? Where is Long Tianxue? The Golden Dragon King came before a black dragon elder and placed the dragon-slaying sword on his neck. Elder Tianxue is in the canyon by the Nirvana seaside, Long Yang said. Long Yang said. He didn't dare to contradict the Golden Dragon King as he knew that the Golden Dragon King wouldn't show any mercy. Hide. Do you think you can just hide? You have to pay the price for going against the Celestial Realm's 100 Races Alliance. The Golden Dragon King slapped Long Yang. Lord Golden Dragon King, Elder Tianxue, and the others have been locked up for a long time. They lost their freedom a long time ago, Long Yang said. What happened? Tell me the details. The Golden Dragon King was stunned. They were locked up by the previous clan leader, Long Tianyuan. A few other elders were also locked up. This time, the black dragons moved and brought the cages to Silence Canyon, Long Yang said. Bring this king over. Chirue, take care of things here. I want to see Tianxue. I can't let Long Zai get ahead of me. Night Sorrow, be careful, the Golden Dragon King said to Chirue and Night Sorrow as he lifted Long Yang, who was chained up by Pu Luo. Ruisi, follow the Golden Dragon King. That way, you can pass on the message, Night Sorrow said to Ruisi, who was also staying in the Night Moon Villa. The Golden Dragon King did not reject Night Sorrow's good intentions and left the Night Moon Villa with Ruisi. Alliance Master, Clan Leader Chirue, should we send these black dragons to Tianhuang City to be locked up? Pu Luo asked. Yes, send them to Tianhuang City to be locked up and wait for the Golden Dragon King to deal with them. Night Sorrow saw Qin Rui nod to indicate that he had no objections and accepted Pu Luo's suggestion. Z 9-inch Aluo, is there any movement in Starmoon City? Night Sorrow asked Datura. Datura's main body was in the Night Moon Villa while his clone was in Starmoon City. It's very quiet. There's no movement at all, Datura nodded. Don't worry. Mo Tianji, Long Tianyuan, Long Zai, and the others are all here. This is probably their target. They want to use this place as a springboard to take down Starmoon City. Since they hit a wall here, they won't do anything else. Their strength is only so much, Chirue said. That should be it. The only regret is that Mo Tianji's soul escaped, Night Sorrow said. Haha. You can't blame me. When a cultivator reaches a certain level, their soul level will be high. It's very difficult to kill them. Your master's soul alone has controlled Mo Tianji for countless years. This is very telling, Chirue said with a smile. Senior Chirue, you misunderstand. Night Sorrow didn't mean that. I just don't know how to talk, Night Sorrow explained. I understand. A cultivator who has gone through the tribulation of the 7 kings has a very strong soul. It's very difficult to kill them. Your soul attack just now, if it was an ordinary soul, it would have killed it instantly. However, when it hit Mo Tianji's soul, it only destroyed a part of her soul power. Yes, she is very strong. This time, we forced her soul out of her body. For her, hundreds of years of recovery will be wasted. It will be very difficult for her to recover in the future. Some of our plans won't be able to be carried out. Besides, we've taken care of the black dragons. We've also taken care of a big problem, Night Sorrow said. The dragons have many members in their branches. The strongest ones are the green dragons and black dragons. You heard it just now. Some of the black dragon's elders were imprisoned. It's clear that there are different opinions. If the Golden Dragon King goes and releases the elders who are unwilling to support the Demon Wing clan, then the problem will be solved, Chirue said. I hope the Golden Dragon King and Lin Yun can reach the Great Valley of Silence before Long Zhe. Then the problem will be solved. Night Sorrow nodded. Long Tianyuan has been killed. Long Zhe is now a frightened bird. He will probably hide. How dare he return to the Great Valley of Silence? Give him 8 guts. Chirue snorted coldly. Chapter 1993. Let's wait and see. I'll go to the Samsara Island when the Golden Dragon King returns. As long as the Samsara Island is stable, the Demon Wing clan won't be able to do anything, Night Sorrow said. This battle was very intense. Several experts of the Black Dragon race had fallen, including the previous Black Dragon King. However, the battle ended as quickly as it started. It didn't even take an hour. The Humanitarian League and the Heaven Wasteland Army captured all the members of the Black Dragons, except for those who were killed. They also found the 2 affiliated forces of the Black Dragons. The Heaven Wasteland Army had already set off. It was impossible to let these forces, which had betrayed the 100 races of the Celestial Realm, continue to exist. Night Sorrow was very happy to kill the Black Dragons and severely injure Mo Tianji again. This meant that the situation could be stabilized for a period of time, and what he needed was time. His forces were still in the period of rapid growth. Chirue stayed in the Night Moon Villa. He had to ensure the safety of the Golden Dragon King as there was no news from the Night Moon Villa. Lin Yun went to find Night Sorrow. She wanted to join the God-slaying team or the First Army. Night Sorrow took her to ask Chirue for his opinion. Our Yin Yun has been obedient since she was a child. She has never left the Blood Kirin Mountain. She really needs to explore. I'm not worried about following you. As for your arrangement, I don't have any objections, Chirue said with a smile. Lin Yun had already told him her thoughts. The God-slaying team is not a problem. However, I need to talk to the Grand Elder about the First Army, Night Sorrow said. Okay. Hearing Night Sorrow's agreement, Lin Yun nodded happily. She knew that whether she could join the First Army or the God-slaying team depended on Night Sorrow's attitude. Night Sorrow was the absolute authority in the God-slaying team. No one would object to Night Sorrow's words. It was the same for the First Army. There was only one voice, and even the orders of the Council of Elders were useless. 3 days after the battle, news came that the Golden Dragon King had released all the elders of the Black Dragons who had been imprisoned. Update QXIN plus most hurry up the Golden Dragon King appointed Long Tianxue to manage the affairs of the Black Dragons. The surviving members of the Black Dragons had all returned to the Black Dragon's homeland. As for how to deal with the traitors, the Golden Dragon King didn't care. He believed that Long Tianxue would handle it well. There were 6 imprisoned elders, all of whom were very powerful. Knowing that the matter was settled, Night Sorrow planned to set off with his men. However, the Golden Dragon King returned to the Night Moon Villa with a few black-robed elders by his side. Elder Tianxue, I won't introduce Elder Kirui since you already know him. This is Night Sorrow. You should know the specifics. Night Sorrow, the elders of the Black Dragons are here to see the dragon language. This matter might be very important, the Golden Dragon King said. As long as it doesn't hurt the dragon language, I don't have any objections, Night Sorrow expressed his attitude. Of course. The dragon language is the Golden Dragon clan's only young concubine, the Golden Dragon King nodded. Don't worry, Region Lord Knight. The Black Dragons, have done some things that disappointed everyone, but I won't do it again, Long Tianxue promised. After hearing Long Tianxue's promise, Knight Sorrow arranged for someone to call Long Jin and his wife over from Starmoon City. After Long Jin and Dragon Language arrived, they first greeted the Golden Dragon King, then greeted Knight Sorrow as elder brother. These are the elders of the Black Dragons. They have some matters to discuss with you. Dragon Language, just do what you need to do. If you have any questions, just call me. Knight Sorrow left after saying that. As for how to discuss the matter, he believed that the Golden Dragon King wouldn't let his nephew and niece-in-law suffer. Moreover, Long Jin and Dragon Language weren't the type to admit defeat. Knight Sorrow arrived at the waterside pavilion and chatted with Lin Piaomiao while drinking tea. After dealing with the Black Dragons and severely injuring Mo Tianji, Knight Sorrow felt much more at ease. It could be said that he had resolved a huge crisis in Starmoon City. When do you plan to depart? Lin Piaomiao knew that Knight Sorrow was about to leave because the first territory at Samsara Island needed Knight Sorrow to lead the team. I'll see how the Dragon Language and the Black Dragons are doing. If there are no problems, I'll lead the god-slaying team and depart, Knight Sorrow said. Okay. My original body will return to Starmoon City to cultivate in seclusion. My avatar will stay in Night Moon Villa. If anything happens, I'll deal with it immediately. There won't be anything I can't handle, Lin Piaomiao said. Okay. Also, there's the matter of Aunt Fei. If the Ice Phoenix race's people are important enough, inform my 9-domain world avatar. If not, just send them away. This matter has crossed my bottom line, Knight Sorrow said. Don't worry about the family. If I can't handle the pressure, I'll call for help from the Humanitarian League, Lin Piaomiao said with a smile. Knight Sorrow also smiled. Now, no one could challenge the Humanitarian League. The Humanitarian League now was completely different from the Humanitarian League 700 years ago. Lin Piaomiao and the Great Demon King were trying their best to increase their cultivation. Pu Luo, Ruisi, and Yu Zhu naturally wouldn't stop there. Pu Luo had already broken through the tribulation of 3 emperors and was preparing to enter the tribulation of 4 emperors. Ruisi, Yu Zhu, and Fan Tian had settled down for some time. Before Knight Sorrow woke up, they had already passed the tribulation of 4 emperors. In other words, among the 7 elders of the Humanitarian League, only Knight Sorrow was slightly weaker. The others were all cultivators of the tribulation of 4 emperors. In the 100 Races Elder Council, cultivators of the tribulation of 4 emperors were qualified to be elders of the law enforcement elders. After Knight Sorrow and Lin Piaomiao drank 2 pots of tea, the Golden Dragon King, the Black Dragon's elder, Long Jin, and Dragon Language walked out of the VIP building. The elders of the Black Dragon saluted Knight Sorrow and thanked Knight Sorrow again for taking care of Long Jin and Dragon Language. They also invited Knight Sorrow to be a guest at the Black Dragon's mansion before leaving the Night Moon Mansion. Long Jin, what did you talk about? It didn't hurt your interests, right? Knight Sorrow asked. We were at a disadvantage, but we can't help it. Long Jin rubbed his forehead. What did the Dragon Language say? Knight Sorrow looked at Dragon Language and asked. They brought the weapon of the Black Dragon King from the previous reincarnation and confirmed that I was one of the 2 missing dragons. Long Jin and I are married, but they want our children to continue the bloodline of the Black Dragons. If our children are Golden Dragons, they will be of the Golden Dragon clan. If they are Black Dragons, they will be the future king of the Black Dragons. Dragon Language said. That's reasonable. Long Jin, why do you feel like you're at a disadvantage? You have to be honest. Since you married a Black Dragon, you have to do something for the Black Dragons. Knight Sorrow said with a smile. Captain, who would be willing to have children all over the place? Wouldn't it be better if they were all on Dragon Island? Long Jin muttered. Didn't they say that when a golden dragon marries other dragons, their children will most likely be golden dragons? What are you worried about? Lin Piaomiao said with a smile. That's not the case. The last Black Dragon King from the previous reincarnation was the most outstanding member of the Black Dragons in the history of the Black Dragons. His bloodline is naturally strong, so it's hard to say whether his grandson will be a golden dragon or a black dragon. Golden Dragon King shook his head. Chapter 1994. As the daughter of the strongest Black Dragon King, after the dragon language and dragon gene combined, no one could tell whether the offspring would be a golden dragon or a black dragon. The Black Dragon King left behind 2 dragon eggs. Where is the other one? Night Sorrow asked. It was taken away by the Demon Wing clan. It might no longer exist. The dragon-headed people in the reincarnation battlefield might have been created by the Demon Wing clan with the help of that dragon egg. This is also the reason why Long Tianxue and the other black dragons are unwilling to cooperate with the Demon Wing clan. Golden Dragon King said. They are too inhumane. It makes one's hair stand on end. Night Sorrow's expression changed. Lord Golden Dragon King, what's up with the snake-headed people that Night Sorrow met? Lin Piaomiao asked. Yes, the real version. First player, the Flying Serpent clan is trash. They are naturally lustful. They might have done something dirty with the Demon Wing clan, hence the existence of the snake-headed people. This is also the reason why the 100 clans of the Celestial Realm destroyed their inheritance. They shouldn't have existed. Golden Dragon King scolded. Don't be unhappy, Long Jean. It's a good thing that your son or daughter can become the future Black Dragon King. Moreover, the dragon language can just give birth to a few more. Night Sorrow said with a smile. Golden Dragon King nodded. This king has the same intention. Long Jean, you are the future Golden Dragon King. As the King of Dragons, you have to consider all the branches. The Black Dragons are naturally included. For the continuation of the Black Dragon clan, it's only right that you do something. After chatting for a while, Night Sorrow announced his decision to depart. Don't worry about the safety of Star Moon City and Night Moon Villa. This king will stay here for a while. If there are any fish that escapes the net, this king will eliminate them. As for Mo Tianji's soul, there is no need to worry too much. It will be very difficult for her to rise again in the near future. Once she spends a large amount of time recovering and your strength has increased, she will no longer be a threat, the Golden Dragon King said. Many thanks to Lord Golden Dragon King and Lord Kirui. Long Jean, go to Star Moon City and gather the god-slaying team. We are about to set off. Samsara Island will be our battlefield, Night Sorrow said to Long Jean and dragon language. Okay, they will be here soon. Long Jean nodded and left the Night Moon Villa. Night Sorrow, the Golden Dragon King, and Kirui chatted for a while about the current situation. Currently, the Demon-Winged clan and the Celestial Realm's 100 races were relatively stronger. Unless the Demon-Winged clan had a new peerless expert, they would not be able to take down Tianhuang City or invade the Celestial Realm. Of course, they had to avoid some unorthodox methods, such as Samsara Island. If they did not take precautions, it would be troublesome if the Demon-Winged clan occupied it. While they were chatting, Long Jean led the god-slaying team to the Night Moon Villa. Night Sorrow led Lin Yun to the training ground where the god-slaying team was and clapped his hands. Hearing Night Sorrow's clapping, the god-slaying team quickly gathered. Let me introduce a new member, Lin Yun, from the Blood Qilin clan. She is the princess of the Blood Qilin clan. Everyone knows the situation of the Blood Qilin clan, so I won't say much. Lin Yun, all I can do is introduce everyone to you. Whether or not you can gain their recognition is your problem, Night Sorrow said to Lin Yun. Captain, don't worry. Lin Yun will do what I have to do. Lin Yun nodded at Night Sorrow. She understood the god-slaying team. It was too difficult for them to recruit members. Get familiar with everyone and reorganize the team. We will set off tomorrow. Night Sorrow said and left. It was enough for him to explain the god-slaying team. Besides, he had to give everyone enough space. After making the arrangements, Knight Sorrow went to practice his spear arts. After resting for a night, Knight Sorrow said a few words to Lin Piao Miao and Datura Datura. He also said goodbye to the Golden Dragon King and Chi Rui before setting off with the God-slaying team. As for the Humanitarian League, he didn't even need to worry about it. Speaking of which, Mo Tianji didn't have a body again. She was forced to give up her body by Chi Rui. This was a choice that Mo Tianji had no other choice. If she didn't make a prompt decision, her soul spirit might not be able to escape and would truly perish. Without a body, Mo Tianji couldn't suppress her anger. She had worked hard for over 700 years to reach peak emperor rank. In the end, she accidentally bumped into an iron plate, a very hard iron plate. Mo Tianji didn't hate Chi Rui. She hated the black dragons. She was just trying to get information, but she found a huge trap and was beaten back to her original state. Without a body, Mo Tianji couldn't even curse. However, she felt that this was a chance to seize it. It was too difficult to sneak into Star Moon City with a body. However, it was different if she was a soul spirit. It was easy to sneak in. Mo Tianji was currently flying toward Star Moon City. She knew that Jun Xuanji was in Star Moon City. Furthermore, she could enter the 9 regions world through Star Moon City. These were two choices, and Mo Tianji fell into deep thought. Both choices had their pros and cons. If she wanted Jun Xuanji's body now, even if she succeeded, it would be the same as destroying the results of her soul reincarnation many years ago. If she didn't want Jun Xuanji and directly headed towards the 9 regions world, there would be a lot of variables. She would either find the original body and merge her soul spirit with the original body, or she would be caught and killed, completely perishing. Both choices were extremely tempting for Mo Tianji. She planned to sneak into Star Moon City first and observe the situation. If there was a chance to enter the 9 regions world, she planned to risk it. If there wasn't such a chance, then she could only take over the body. Mo Tianji's soul spirit flew very quickly. She couldn't afford to drag it because a soul spirit without a body was like a rootless duckweed. It was constantly being ground down by the elemental energy of heaven and earth. There was no defensive power around Star Moon Lake. Even the defensive formation couldn't stop Mo Tianji's soul spirit from infiltrating. After arriving at Star Moon City, Mo Tianji began to investigate. She wanted to understand the situation first. Mo Tianji found Jun Xuanji's location and also saw Zhu Jiuyun. After observing Zhu Jiuyun, Mo Tianji's eyes lit up. Zhu Jiuyun had great potential. Taking over Zhu Jiuyun's body was a good choice. Taking over Jun Xuanji's body would destroy her own future. Mo Tianji wasn't willing to do that. As she continued, Mo Tianji understood everything about Star Moon City. She wasn't in a hurry to act. Instead, she analyzed the situation before her. She knew that she couldn't afford to fail. In her current state, failure meant eternal damnation. Everything in Star Moon City was quiet. No one noticed the arrival of Mo Tianji's soul spirit. Even the injured Mo Tianji's soul spirit was unparalleled in Star Moon City. Even Lu Qi, who had great battle power, couldn't compare. Chapter 1995. Mo Tianji kept checking the situation in Xingyue City. She wanted to make sure nothing went wrong. After living for so many years, Mo Tianji had developed the habit of being calmer in times of danger. There was more than one person in Xingyue City that could threaten Mo Tianji. Lu Qi could do it, and so could Lin Piaomiao. After observing for a few days, Mo Tianji found that there were many people going in and out of the teleportation array. They could teleport by placing a Saint Spirit stone. Nothing special happened. After observing for 2 more days, Mo Tianji decided to take action. She was prepared to fail. If the teleportation failed, she would kidnap Yi Shang's mother. This was the only chance Mo Tianji had to escape unscathed. Yu Qing had entered the king realm. She was currently a primary king. Mo Tianji was confident that she could capture Yu Qing immediately. With a hostage in hand, her safety would be guaranteed. She could even exchange her body with Night Sorrows. This was also a choice. However, Mo Tianji did not want to expose herself. If she could find her body silently, her soul would enter the divine sea and slowly recover. The people in Xingyue city did not know that Mo Tianji had arrived. Everything was going on in an orderly manner. In the Humanitarian League of the Divine Capital, Zhu Jiuyun planned to return to the Nine-Domain world to see how the Netherworld race was doing. After communicating with Jun Xuanji, his clone left the Divine Capital and teleported to Xingyue city. After arriving at Xingyue city, Zhu Jiuyun did not greet anyone and went into the teleportation array. At this time, Mo Tianji's soul, who was near the teleportation array, floated and landed on Zhu Jiuyun's body. Zhu Jiuyun stroked his golden hair. 2 golden horns appeared. The golden horns were Zhu Jiuyun's pride. However, it was inconvenient to show them in the celestial realm. Noticing Zhu Jiuyun's golden horns, Mo Tianji's heart trembled violently. Legend had it that the demonic wing emperor had golden horns. Zhu Jiuyun was in a good mood. He hummed a tune and inserted a Saint Spirit stone into the teleportation array. Mo Tianji's soul went still. She knew that the success of the teleportation was the most crucial step. The teleportation array was activated. Zhu Jiuyun and Mo Tianji's soul bodies were teleported. After the space stabilized, they were in 9 Zones world. Mo Tianji was overjoyed that she was not restricted. Yi Shang had indeed not discovered her, because the combined energy of Mo Tianji and Zhu Jiuyun was not as high as Yi Shang's. Zhu Jiuyun left, but Mo Tianji did not move. She could feel the aura of her original body. It was in the Sky Ceiling Palace not far from the teleportation formation. Mo Tianji left the teleportation array and went to a hidden place. She started to observe the 9 regions world. Feeling the vibrant aura of the 9-domain world, Mo Tianji knew that her judgment was correct. The 9-domain world was a new supreme world. Mo Tianji also noticed the 9-region origin energy shield outside the Sky Ceiling Palace. Mo Tianji was very experienced, so she knew what it was. It was something she could not touch. She was born in the celestial realm. If she entered the heaven ceiling hall, she would be attacked by the 9-domain origins. Investigating was the first thing Mo Tianji needed to do. However, she could not afford to do so in her current state. After leaving the Sky Ceiling Palace for some distance, Mo Tianji noticed a Saint King woman. Her soul power attacked and destroyed the woman's soul. Mo Tianji's soul body entered the woman's divine sea and took control of her body. Mo Tianji was at the 7 Emperor Tribulation level. Her body was not there, but her soul body was at the 7 Emperor Tribulation level. It was easy to destroy a Saint King's soul. She did not merge with the body because she did not want such a body. She only wanted to use the body to stabilize her soul power and not dissipate. Also, it was convenient for her to investigate. The 9 regions world was a simple new world. It was easy for Mo Tianji to gather information. She stayed in the restaurants and tea houses of the 9 regions world every day. She learned everything about the 9 regions world and everything about Night Sorrow. Night Sorrow brought the god-slaying team to Tianhuang City to see the Grand Elder. The battle at the Night Moon Villa was beautifully arranged. It could be said that we solved some of the crisis. The Grand Elder was very happy to see Night Sorrow. After the Black Dragons were taken care of, the 100 races of the celestial realm will be united. We will have no worries when we fight in the future. Night Sorrow nodded. Don't worry and go conquer the Samsara Island. Night Moon Villa, Star Moon City, and the forces of Tianhuang City will pay attention, the Grand Elder said. Yi Shang cupped his hands at the Great Elder. He understood what the Great Elder meant by the subordinate force. The Heaven Wasteland Army belonged to the Heaven Wasteland City. The forces of the various elders were also considered forces of Tianhuang City. The most mysterious one was the Fiend God Castle, which was one of the most important forces of Tianhuang City. Grand Elder, Lin Yun of the Blood Scale clan wants to join the First Army. Is this okay? Night Sorrow asked. You are now the commander of the Tianhuang army. Naturally, you have the final say in the troops under your command. However, other than the God-slaying team, try not to accept any members below the Imperial Emperor realm. This is because there will be unnecessary casualties in the future war, the Grand Elder said. Night Sorrow understood the Grand Elder's intention and painstaking efforts. The Tianhuang army was the main force in the battle against the Demon-Winged clan. Those below the Imperial Emperor realm were useless. As for the God-slaying team, the elders of the 100 races of the Celestial realm were willing to nurture them as elites. After greeting the Grand Elder, Night Sorrow led the members of the God-slaying team to the gate of Tianhuang City facing the Nirvana Ocean Bridge. He told everyone about Tianhuang City on the other side and what he knew about Tianhuang City. HQ knew most one fast up dollar. Night Sorrow then led everyone to the city wall of Tianhuang City. That's where the Samsara Island is located. It's also our destination this time. Everyone enter my 8-dragon cauldron and I'll take you there. The God-slaying team had absolute trust in Night Sorrow. It was not the first time they entered Night Sorrow's space magic treasure. Naturally, there was no problem. Night Sorrow put the members of the God-slaying team into the 8-dragon cauldron. With the protection of the Samsara domain, they leaped out of the city wall and flew toward the Samsara Island. Captain, isn't this Nirvana storm too strong? If we enter alone, won't we be killed in an instant? Liang Yu asked. Yes. Otherwise, why would I be exiled for 8 years and not be able to return? It's because this Nirvana storm blocked me outside. Night Sorrow smiled. He had told the 8-dragon cauldron that insiders were allowed to explore outside. Therefore, the members of the God-slaying team were aware of the situation outside. I'm so excited. I wonder if the Samsara Island is fun. If we can cultivate in such a storm, it'll be very helpful to improve our power of heaven and earth. Yun Huang's face was full of excitement. He was not the only one. The others were the same. The environment on the Samsara Island is very harsh. However, it's still possible to survive. Your main mission is to train and improve yourselves, Night Sorrow said. Chapter 1996. This is what you don't understand. No matter when or what we face, our God-slaying squad is always this excited, Yun Huang said with a smile. Our mentality is so good? Lin Yun was stunned. Our mentality is good mainly because our captain can bring us back every time we go out for a mission, Ling Long said with a smile. Lin Yun nodded. She really understood. It was because the God-slaying squad had a reliable captain. Princess Lin Yun, slowly, you'll like the God-slaying squad, Liang Yu said. There's no need to slowly. I like the God-slaying squad now. I like this atmosphere, Lin Yun said. That's because you haven't seen our captain scold people. However, he hasn't scolded people for a long time. Haha. Ho Jian said. As everyone chatted, Night Sorrow flew rapidly. It took 3 days for Night Sorrow to reach Reincarnation Island. At the edge of Reincarnation Island, the Nirvana storm was very strong. Night Sorrow had to travel some distance before he could get everyone out of the 8-dragon cauldron. Take a good look at the storm and aura. After you get used to it, you'll have to carry out missions, Night Sorrow said after letting the God-slaying squad out of the 8-dragon cauldron. At the edge of Reincarnation Island, the God-slaying squad members couldn't withstand the storm. However, the area Night Sorrow chose was an area where the God-slaying squad members could withstand the storm. This really isn't a good place, he said in the dragon language after taking a look at the storm. This is just a bad environment, okay? Last time, Tianyu, Captain, and I were chased for more than a year. We couldn't hide even if we wanted to. Just thinking about it makes me excited and happy, Long Jin said as he patted Tianyu's shoulder. You still have the nerve to say that? When has our god-slaying squad ever been chased? Lei Bao muttered. Lei Bao, it's easy for you to say that. Back then, Captain was a mid-level sovereign emperor. Tianyu and I weren't even as strong as him. Do you think we could fight to the death with an emperor? Why don't you try it? Tianyu glared at Lei Bao. Emperor. Then we really have to run. Running away is a skill. Lei Bao pursed his lips. He knew that this matter involved Night Sorrow. Tianyu looked like he had been plucked. At that time, Captain was already able to kill a low-class emperor rank. However, Mo Tianji wasn't a normal emperor rank. Her realm was high and her battle strength was strong. It was already good enough that he wasn't killed by her. Moreover, Captain obtained the Desolate Sky Halberd. It was already a victory. Long Jean turned around and said to the group. No wonder she attacked Night Moon Manor, muttered Yi Nian with a smile. Nianxiao, the grudge between me and Mo Tianji wasn't just formed on the reincarnation battlefield. When I was exiled to Infinite Wasteland and attacked, she and I became sworn enemies. Night Sorrow, who was leading the way, explained the conflict between Yan Wushuang and Mo Tianji. He also said that because of his appearance, Mo Tianji was defeated and lost her main body. Only now did everyone understand how deep the grudge between Mo Tianji and Night Sorrow was. It's a pity that we didn't kill her in the Night Moon Manor, said Sikong Chuyu. Night Sorrow's wives, Sikong Chuyu, Yang Lei, and Aoi were all members of the god-slaying team. Now, their clones were also going to Reincarnation Island. When a cultivator reaches a certain level, their life force will evolve. Their soul force will also be different. They won't die so easily. Take my master, Unparalleled Sword Emperor, for example. His body was destroyed by the god-slaying tribulation, but he still trapped Mo Tianji for countless years without a body. If he hadn't trapped Mo Tianji, his soul force wouldn't have died so easily, explained Night Sorrow to the members of the god-slaying team. Seeing the surprised expressions of the members of the god-slaying team, Night Sorrow said that Mo Tianji's injuries were very serious and that it would be difficult for her to recover, so that everyone could feel at ease. After 8 days, Night Sorrow led the god-slaying team to meet up with the First Army. They also met King Yawu. Night Sorrow waved at Lin Yun and had her stand beside him. Let me introduce a new member, Lin Yun. She will be a member of the First Army from now on. Currently, all the teams in the First Army are working together seamlessly. Lin Yun will follow Zhuodong and look after the overall situation. Lin Yun, you are currently the one with the highest cultivation in the First Army. During battle, you must pay attention to the safety of your brothers and sisters. Do not abandon anyone. Night Sorrow introduced Lin Yun to the First Army and made arrangements for her. Lin Yun was an 8-star emperor like him. She was at the peak middle emperor level and could reach the peak emperor level at any time. Commander, don't worry. Zhuodong and the others bowed to Night Sorrow. Even if Night Sorrow didn't mention that Lin Yun had to take care of everyone, the soldiers in the First Army wouldn't be dissatisfied. The First Army and the god-slaying team are all my brothers. You must get along well. If I find any internal strife or disharmony, I will definitely punish you severely. Don't treat my words as a joke. After Night Sorrow finished speaking, he left and went to find King Yawu, who was standing outside the campsite. He wanted to ask King Yawu about his plan. Your subordinates are very energetic. Very good. King Yawu had a very high opinion of the First Army and the god-slaying team. They are a group of motivated people. Marshal Uncle, is there any movement on Reincarnation Island? Night Sorrow asked. Marshal Uncle can confirm that there are no top-tier experts, but Reincarnation Island is a bit big. It won't be easy to monitor the entire place. Do you have any good ideas? King Yawu looked at Night Sorrow and asked. Reincarnation Island is huge. It is indeed difficult to guard it to the death. It is also not a long-term plan. However, I don't have any ideas right now. Let me think about it. Knight Sorrow thought for a moment and shook his head. Don't feel pressured. We will just treat this place as a stronghold and send people to patrol around. This way, we might be able to detect any movement. Your first army and the god-slaying team also need some training. King Yowu nodded to Knight Sorrow. Then Knight Sorrow returned to the team. He arranged for everyone to set up camp and then sorted out his ideas to figure out what to do next. After thinking for a while, Knight Sorrow didn't have any good ideas. He could only patrol first and then think of a way. After gathering the people of the first army and the god-slaying team, Knight Sorrow assigned them to different teams. Knight Sorrow divided the first army's team into 2 teams according to the ratio of 4 to 6. He would lead the team with fewer people. The members of the god-slaying team were much weaker than the sergeants of the first army. Knight Sorrow planned to put them in his team. At the same time, he asked the doppelgangers of Long Jin and Tianyu to lead the other team. Lin Yun also followed them. Swadong, you have to remember one thing. If you can't handle the battle, you have to protect yourself first and then inform me. Lin Yun, the most terrible thing on Reincarnation Island is the void purple light snake. They can devour energy, but they can't devour the power of merit. If you encounter one, try to avoid it. If you can't, use the power of merit to suppress it and then kill it. Knight Sorrow said to Swadong and Lin Yun, the leaders of the other team. Don't worry, Commander. Swadong and Lin Yun nodded. Wait a moment. Take these 2 soul crystals. If you encounter the Demon Wing clan, crush them. I will be there as soon as possible. King Yowu came to the front of the team. You're tuning in to the Romantic Tales YouTube channel. Don't forget to subscribe and join us on this journey to catch the most captivating stories.